right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquid Beer Release podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello. It's not static, AM radio. It's the Cool Bed Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macramala intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin bites.
.03 on the Nielson Show. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Dusty and Lieutenant Eric with you. You can text us anytime in the Paris Jewelers inbox. That's 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. They got, 22 locations, 4 provinces, 1 great website, great family-run business.
Great staff. Outstanding
buy
staff.
now and don't pay for a year.
No.
Buy now and don't pay for a year. Only at Paris Jewelers. You've got that going for you this morning. And let's get that inbox hopping today. That would be terrific.
It is Tuesday, hey? Not Wednesday, as
yeah.
Vance Van Vandervan is.
Vance Van Vandervan is sending in Macramala intros today.
By the bushelful.
Macramala will be on tomorrow. So we've got that going for us today as well. I think you replied and said, "Are you from the future?"
It'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Which is pretty sweet. I like that this morning. All right, we've got lots to get to as we work our way through the show today. It is a game day. The Edmonton Oilers take on the Carolina Hurricanes. I have already engaged with Nathan this morning. I'm not sure this guy even works for the company that we use for the live stream. I mean, he messaged me. When did he message me? Hello there. I wanted to give you a quick update and let you know that I've completed the back-end work on your station. Please monitor your station and let us know if you run any further issues.
Oh, okay.
To which I replied with screen caps of me being unable to load the show.
Yeah, tough to monitor
on
when you...
both TuneIn and iHeart today. And now he's gone. But it's weird. You loaded all 3 fine for a second there. Like it's
different for everybody. So just keep trying and see where it takes you.
We got to get this sorted out. These guys are about to lose our business. There's got to be other radio streaming platforms we can go to because these guys are getting a little bit ridiculous. Anyway, more on that with Fired Up. We'll go there around 6:35.
Frank Costanza. They don't want us. We don't want them.
Yeah. See you later, idiots. All right. Nielson Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet, where they do have employee pricing available up until the end of October. You got to move quick on this. October ends, of course, on the 31st. So you want to get in on this right now. Save up to $15,000 on sale. You could even buy a second, lesser vehicle, maybe used from somewhere, from Kijiji, with the savings that you're going to get at South Fort Chevrolet. How convenient is this?
Get your South Fort fleet, just to kind of assemble.
Yeah. Drive a little, save a lot. Check out their website, www.southfortchev.com. Go out and see Daniel. Tell him we sent you, and they'll give you $1,000 credit on your trade-in that you would not get anywhere else. Plus, they'll beat any price. So use this. Use this to your advantage. Go get the best price you think you're going to get anywhere else. Go on out, see Daniel and his family-friendly team at South Fort Chev, and they will give you a better deal. Boom. Just like that. So that's terrific. All right, we'll get to some of your text messages as we work our way through the show. Let me lay this bad boy out for you today. One of your texts will win text of the day, where A&W, you'll get a gift certificate to A&W. They right now have 2 juicy, delicious Mama Burgers on for $9.99. Plus, what's today?
Game
day. And game day for the orange and blue. Mama Burger and fries, $5. That's lunch.
Outstanding.
That's a game day lunch right there. Mama Burger and fries for just $5 at all participating A&Ws in the local area.
So we got that going for 2 of those,
too.
$10, right? You think about that, lunch and supper.
2 fries and 2
bada
Mama
boom,
Burgers.
you're done. Yeah,
You're basically getting the fries for free. That's what we're looking at right now. So that's good. Norman the Combine says, guys, I was in the wrong country for a good 5 minutes this morning. Good thing I'm a traveler.
I learned today too. Nathan is abroad as well.
I think
well,
Nathan,
it's lunchtime for him.
I was exchanging messages with Nathan. Like I said, I'm not sure they're leading to anything. But anyway, I was exchanging messages with this Nathan guy on our support app yesterday, and he let me know he was BST, which I think is like British Standard. What's BST?
Yeah.
British Standard Time. So cheerio. Get the problems fixed, you idiot. We'll see if they can get to the bottom of it today.
Or else we're coming over there.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna be pretty, Nathan.
RBM is in and says, guys, it took a good few tries this morning. Usually he doesn't do that until I get to work when I switch over to my headphones. He LOLs, but I'm not LOL. Why would it cause an issue when you're just switching to headphones? I mean,
you're not even Ralph Molfing.
Oh, baby, we're coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio this morning. Let's lay out the show for you. We got a lot on the go today. We'll have your morning announcements coming up. We will get into Tales of the North just after 6:30 today. It is a game day. Oilers and Hurricanes tonight. Fired up. You might already have a little bit of a teaser on where I'm going to go.
You're going to unbutton a couple of buttons on that shirt today.
By the time I'll be tarps off by the end of the show. Just kidding. The Oilers have mixed up the top 6 again. McDavid and Draisaitl separated. Do they not like playing with each other? We'll discuss around 6:45 today.
And the reunification of that third line. Hey?
Good to see them back together. Except, it was a hit and miss yesterday because Derek Ryan was actually on that line, I think, at practice.
Yeah, well, I'm reading, it depends.
Who are you
we'll
reading?
See.
Who are you reading?
I'm reading Daily Faceoff right now, but.
Oh, I think that's incorrect.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Mind you, they were rotating. Roby Jarventi was skating, so
it's all in pencil, right?
Team,
I mean, it's shoe polish at the best.
We'll see. I know Reed Wilkins was saying that, and Tony Brar's tweets yesterday said Derek Ryan was on the third.
If Brar
line,
had it, then
that was the latest.
I'm done then.
From Tony Brar. So that's good.
Sheldon, not in a white garbage truck, says, all good boys. When I can't connect, I just hop on YouTube for the drive.
Yeah, I know, but that's not how it's supposed to work.
It isn't, but,
yeah,
he'll get you through.
We're going to get to the bottom of this. I'm about ready to kick these guys to the curb. All right, we got Jamie McLennan today. He is going to be traveling tomorrow, so Noodles will join us today. Craig Button, always a good teammate. He's flipping to tomorrow, so we'll have him tomorrow. All 26 teams, or all 32 teams, 16 games tonight in the National Hockey League. Noodles on the road with the Ottawa Senators in Utah for the first time. So we'll get his thoughts on that. Yeah. Hopefully he can see everything.
And I think the Leafs have found their goalie, eh?
Oh, it sure sounded like it last night.
Hey,
the one that got away. We'll give you the early bird special. How about the wheel? The wheel.
Oh, yeah.
All praise the wheel. Mike Evans. It was meant to be. Scores early, then gets hurt and leaves.
Also a bit of the wheel curse as it went to Godwin, then went to Evans.
And
both receivers now injured.
The Bucks are screwed.
Yeah, that's
the Bucks are screwed.
Terrible stuff.
But still, we hit. So funny. Quick story on that. I was sitting there at dinner last night, having dinner with my family, and I don't know, something came up about the wheel. Marshall, I guess, was watching the wheel yesterday. He brought it up. He goes, "Daddy, what's up with the wheel? It's spun backwards." I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "I went to Mike Evans." I was like, "Oh no, I forgot to bet it." Like I bet a bunch of other things yesterday. Forgot to bet that. I was just like, "Oh, I better hop on." I hopped on, and I said to Tam, as I was loading cool bet, I said, "Oh boy," I said, "the game might have already started. I hope I didn't miss it."
Well,
and then I hop on, and I see it's 7-0, and I was like, Oh, no.
Oh, it was
Did
a
Mike
sweater.
Evans and I go and I look, and I'm looking, like at the dinner table, I'm looking at my wife. I'm just like, I missed the Mike Evans touchdown. I was
It was a no
furious.
sweater.
Once again, technology. lets me down.
Well, yeah.
No,
fired
it wasn't
up.
technology. I just totally
Yeah.
blanked on betting the anytime touchdown score yesterday. Had a nice little teaser, actually, that hit. Nothing like Savage.
God,
Holy
wow.
smokes. Savage last night
What a
completes
day. What a weekend.
a 13-game parlay. Completes it last night. Was thinking of cashing out. I actually told him, I said, take the grand. I mean, you never know what happens tonight.
Well, Cardinals, Chargers, too. That's a.
He needed
iffy.
the Ravens and the Cardinals last night to complete the 13-gamer for $3,500 with their partners over at Cool
And they
Bet.
walk it off.
And they walk it off. If you didn't see it, I retweeted the video of him jumping around his kitchen last night.
Great stuff.
Stay cool, bet responsibly. He said it was a $3.90 bet that paid out $3,500. So congratulations to Savage. That's what he's fired up about. So
and
that's,
Lamar
that's
Jackson,
nice.
5 touchdowns and another 169 yards for Derrick Henry.
Well, and a quiet first half for Derrick Henry. He had 12 snaps in the first half. I'm sitting there going, what is happening to this guy? And then he just runs all over them in the second half and catches a touchdown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's the MVP. He's going to win the MVP. He's going to do it. That'll be
Yankees
his.
in the World Series. Ravens looking like a Super Bowl contender. Iwanek's already a Dunya champ. I don't know how the year gets any more better for him.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? All right. We've got that weekly confessions today, just after 7:30. Of course, the keyword for the EST Flyaway to LA. That'll be coming up as well. We'll do that around 7:25, presented by 780. The Fan Zone. We'll get to that. Juggling up the lines again. Chris Knobloch. He's not messing around, trying to find the right combinations. We'll get to see Skinner and
blender sound.
Dreisaitl and Arvidsson again. They lasted 36 minutes into game one before they were broke up. So we'll see if they click tonight. And if they don't, will they get to play a whole game together? Or will they be down 2-1 going to the third and he puts McDavid and Dreisaitl back together?
Fan zone.
Find out tonight. Tom Gazzola will have the GCL Diesel pregame show. What time's puck drop tonight? What do we got?
7? I think a classic 7
Oh,
o'clock.
it's a classic 7
So
o'clock.
it could be 7:07, 7:10, 7. Yeah, I mean, who knows the NHL, but
All right, so this is excellent because
9 Eastern.
That means we go straight from the Reed Wilkins show into the GCL Diesel pre and post game show.
take you right there.
Perfect. Lines up nicely. So that's good news. We've got kind of easy trivia from Mr. Mike's. 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. That hurts for James H. Brown, the Trent and the crew over there. Joaquin Gage will join us just after 8:30 today. I'll dive into Formula One and talk some Weathers and Canes. And then the GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast still coming your way. And, of course, the wrap for William Huff. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you listening on TuneIn and iHeart at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. But for those of you who are having issues with it today, we do apologize. And what really pisses me off, just take the whole thing down. So it's not hit and miss. Like, just take the whole thing down.
It's the teasing that hurts people.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get in, sometimes you can't. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I promise you, at some point, Maddie Iwanek and I will come up with a
When
solution.
has he let you down?
Thank you, Eric. That fires me up
Man
now.
of his word. He's going to get to the bottom of this. Nathan.
Yeah. You know what? I'm on a flight to England right now. That's where I'm going.
I think we use the stash cash that we have here, the fluid money, right? In EST. This is a break glass in case of emergency. This is what that money's for.
Is there enough money in the recycling thing to fly me to England?
$5 a bag, man. We're close there. I mean, at least for you. Just one way.
That's all we need.
That's just,
you know what? I'll collect empties over there to fly back.
It won't take long.
But enough is enough. Let's get in your morning announcements for 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Rawr. Tube Socks texts in this morning. He says, guys, Knobloch needs to keep a line combo wheel on the bench. You know what? This will be a fun thing. If the Oilers lose tonight, we'll spin the wheel for line combinations
I like that,
tomorrow.
yeah.
That'd be fun.
There's lots of options on the wheel.
It just keeps turning back around
Well,
how was last night, Century Casino?
A miracle happened. He rose from the dead. Dustin with a Y is alive and well.
We were worried.
Dusty Shezballs in the nasty chat. A lot of you know him. A lot of you may not. But a nasty dyed in the wool was planning to go to the Estes wanted to go with the limo. He was there Monday night, the night before the Estes. Night of the Estes shows up. He's nowhere to be found. A month and a half goes by. Nobody knows where he is. He's not answering his phone calls, not answering texts, not on any social media platform. And then he just appears miraculously last night at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Jay and Jocelyn were there. Jocelyn looks over my shoulder, sees him walk in, tears falling down her face like she's seen a ghost. And it's funny that we're a week out from Halloween and this happens too, fittingly enough.
That is weird.
He bounds in there like an innocent puppy.
Like
not
nothing's
even
wrong.
Like, hey guys, what's going on? Where have you been? Daughter broke her arm. Night of the Estes.
I've been there.
He has to go to the emergency in his suit. The daughter's beside herself. Sorry, Daddy. You're at the big party night. Takes care of his daughter. Then his work phone gets taken away with all of his two-step identification for every single social media platform on the phone. Boom. He's digitally dead. He's basically digitally dead. That's what happens now.
That's why we couldn't get a hold of him.
Technology again.
Yeah.
Put that in your. Then his ID expires. He's trying to get into Elks pre and post down the Green and Gold kickoff show at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. They won't let him in. No valid ID. So he basically couldn't go anywhere, couldn't talk to anybody, couldn't do anything for a month and a half. Then he bounds in last night like nothing's happened. A month and a half.
We've been texting, we've been calling.
I was this close
Dust
to putting.
is usually everywhere.
I was going
Right?
to contact the milk companies to put his face one of those semi trucks. Have you seen our child? And so that was the miracle. But he was there last night. Rob from the Grove, Jay and Jocelyn as usual. Great night. Steak sandwich, spectacular.
Oh, real nice
and,
steak sandwich.
Yeah, a pair of games on. So it was a great night, but a miracle with him. So nice to see a Dustin with a Y.
That is that we were worried. So this is great.
Well, and Savage is going back and forth. He's texting me with his parlay there too, and then I sent him a picture of Dustin, and then Renee's like, "What's going on?" I sent a detailed video. He explains the whole video I sent her. So it was a miracle evening.
What a night! Mike Evans, first Mike Evans, and then Dustin rises from the Ashes. You never seen anything like it in your entire life.
And then one guy came over and talked to me and got kicked out because he was way too drunk. Sean Williams, you ever heard of him?
No.
So he's a diamond driller.
Okay.
He came
What?
over. Yeah, he came over and he couldn't really stand or walk. Pupils the size of dish plates.
Oh, boy.
And security had to come and say,
take
"Excuse
him
me,
out.
sir, we got to."
Ah,
But it's good seeing you too, man.
good
If you're,
times.
if you're
Good
alive.
times last night.
Yeah.
At Century Casino
Join me
Sports
back
Bar and
Thursday.
Lounge.
World famous smoked brisket cheesesteaks on special.
Brandon from Windsor texts in and says, "Guys, iHeart app working well this morning. Have a great day, boys."
Bone says.
Oh, don't even today. Not today. Not with me.
Bone
Not
says
today right now.
Nathan on his knees begging to get punched. He's almost.
I do like the idea of Pius creating an entire online radio streaming company.
Yeah.
And then sucking me in on a Google search to his services.
Pius's revenge.
And then doing this.
Yeah.
And doing this. Okay, so how weird is this? I was just looking down at my email. And I got an email today at 6:01 from Air Canada that says 2025 Europe sale. The very morning we're talking about me flying out to England to sit down with these people.
Yep. Get that Nexus card out.
I feel like I should book it.
Yeah.
I feel like I should book it. Can you imagine this guy? I don't even know if they have a headquarters, but I'm like knocking on his door. I'm like, "Hey, it's Dustin from Edmonton Sports."
Well,
Talk.
this is like taken.
We're gonna, yeah.
You raw dog the entire
We're gonna
place.
sit down until we sort this out.
You
Like,
bring no luggage. It's
Yeah.
just you and a knife, and you just kind of. I'd like to check this box cutter, and then you sit in the plane and you stare, and you just think of Nathan the entire trip,
pretty much the entire way.
the entire way.
God, it's exciting. Savage the Plumber says maybe he is a ghost. Did you touch him at all last night?
I did.
Okay, all right.
I gave him a big hug.
Okay,
but I
good.
didn't want to let him go.
We have to check that out. So the Cardinals win in a walk-off. Thank God for the walk-off because that game, I mean, I dabbled in it.
It was on the
Anytime I
side
flipped
TVs,
over, something
yeah.
ridiculous was happening, and then nothing was going on.
How about those black uniforms, eh?
Yeah.
Look good on Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy could pull it off.
Yeah.
The Ravens, man, Lamar Jackson. They look
Too
so
hot.
good.
Too hot.
They look so good. The ultimate backdoor cover on a teaser, though, because I had my teaser last night was Chargers plus 5.5 and the under like 49. So that was covered. And then I had the over 44.5 in the Ravens game. That was easy. But then I had the Bucks plus 10, and they ended up squeaking out. Lose by 10.
They were, yeah.
So I got the push on that, hit the other three legs. So it was a profitable night over at Coolbet for old Dusty here.
Godwin gave his ankle, so you could.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Anytime other guys go down an injury that I don't have in the Spite League, it's all a positive.
Yeah.
I got no Godwin. I got no Mike Evans. So I really don't care about those injuries last night. I know there's other leagues, but there's only one I'm focused on Spite winning this year. And last night's game did not impact me one way or the other. So I don't care. I threw this tweet out last night. I was just curious because there was only one game in the National Hockey League last night, and you have to have Amazon Prime to watch it.
Yeah.
So I tweeted out last night, what were you watching from a sports perspective last night? I know tonight everybody's going to be watching the Lakers and the Timberwolves. It's as simple as that. Yeah,
absolutely.
There's, bold move by the NHL to drop 16 games on the night that Bronny James makes his NBA debut.
They're unloading a clip. Hey, they're coming after him.
Woo! I like the controversy here. It's
all hands on deck.
Anyway, I said, I'm curious if people are migrating over to Prime for the only hockey game tonight or just watching the NFL. Ooh. Now, let me make a note here. I'm going to get to the voting results. There was a lot of people who just replied and said, I'm watching wrestling. So
we had that on as well at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge.
I didn't put wrestling in as an option. I just wanted to weigh National Football League on regular television or the only game in the National Hockey League last night on Prime. What would you get? Did you see the results of this?
I took a peek here.
Anyway, the NFL.
I thought we were in Canada.
Well, this is the NFL last night. Yeah, whatever. 1,000 people voted. 77.1% of people said they were just watching the NFL last night. 22.9% of people said they were watching the Leafs Lightning game. On Prime. So, I mean, in Edmonton, it would be a different answer if it was an Oilers game.
Yeah, Toronto,
on
you
Prime.
flip those numbers.
But still, I thought it was kind of interesting. Yep. Like 3 out of every 4 people were just like, I'll just watch the football game tonight, and I'm not going to seek out the hockey game.
You can't do the flipping back and
but it would take like 2 or 3 extra things
than a one.
So I'm curious where you come out on that. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can get in this morning. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We're at 65 right now. Let's change 100 as quickly as we can. This one is in. It says, guys, I had WWE on last night, although it was just background noise. I like to have something on in the background, I guess.
The Wolf chimes in. We were watching wrestling because Ricochet's wife silently left the company and Lillian Garcia came back as in-ring announcer. I don't know how that didn't factor into your poll at all. I mean, that alone should have had an option there.
I was not aware of the storyline.
Well,
I guess I'll find out about it in a documentary in 20 years. This text is in. First time this person's ever texted in. Yeah. Gotta love it. Hey, Dusty and company. Iggy from Spruce Grove here. Love listening to your show every morning. Keep up the good vibes. I'm wondering if you've ever heard from that guy who let his girlfriend go to the hockey game with her ex. I'm predicting a big Oil win tonight.
First ever text, and that's the subject.
I love that. That's the thing that you're like, you know what? It's finally time to text the boys.
Was that a confession as well? It's funny that
it was advice. It was an advice thing.
Okay.
I know. How did that story end? I can't remember. I know we had a few updates. They definitely didn't get back together, I don't think. Or did they? I can't remember. It's a good question. Somebody might remember.
Maybe they evolved into the birds of summer.
Maybe that's what it was. All right, so we did also confirm this. We confirmed this yesterday. We were talking about doing a draft of scary things for Halloween, and it is confirmed. This will be going down on Monday.
Lock it in.
Monday, our first ever Monday draft.
I love it.
It comes on the availability of the commish, Quinn Phillips. She's available on Monday. So we will do a draft of scary things on Monday from 9 to 11. Myself, Lieutenant Eric, Matthew Iwanek will host. Glue Guy will be drafting. Tommy Gazzola, who's won 3 drafts in a row.
Somebody's got to take him down.
Will be drafting as well.
I don't care who wins. Somebody's got to take him down.
What's he going to do? We're going to have a movie thing on Ghostbusters. Come on. YouTube Trev, what do you think of the scary things draft? How do you think this one's going to go on Monday to kick off Halloween week?
Oh, I'm excited.
Are you?
Oh yeah, I'm very excited.
Are you scared?
I'm a little scared. I was gonna say, how should I answer this? Maybe I won't show up because I'm gonna be too scared.
Oh, there's draft anxiety.
Yeah,
that's scary.
This opens up things like what is scary?
Yeah. So this is what we need to build here, everybody. So if you're listening on, Brandon from Windsor says, guys, did I miss the Hawkeye draft?
Well,
no, we're gonna do handsome man draft.
Yeah.
We figured, if we're going to fit in a draft, we might as well make it topical.
Halloween week.
We're going to do a scary things draft. Handsome man draft will happen, though. I promise you that.
Oh.
You know what? Maybe in November.
Can't wait.
Handsome man.
I do kind of like just chasing the handsome man draft and never really getting to it.
Yeah. My sister listened to the last draft. She goes, I will definitely be listening to the handsome man draft. I don't think she's listened to any of our content since. but she's really excited for Handsome Man draft. Anyway, we're doing draft of scary things, like a scary things draft. So what category should we have for a scary things draft? Let's get them out there right now. We got to have like a bad guy, a scary guy, like a... Well, how do you do that?
Like movie, TV, or all combined, like a pop culture?
Probably have, well, I would think you have to have like 2 scary movies. Is that fair, you think?
I think
movies,
so.
Movies alone,
Yep.
yeah.
2 scary movies and then...
A real life scary situation.
Oh, multiple. Yeah.
scenario.
Like, so we have to have like sports, scary situations in sports.
Yep.
I think you can get really creative with that.
That's very
I've already
good.
had one in my mind for like the last 2 weeks. I'm like, this could win the draft.
Oh.
How long do I wait on it? So scary things.
It's really
in sports.
wide open. This is a wide
good.
open.
I would think we got to go like scary characters, right? Like Freddy Krueger
That's a
and
good
stuff
one.
like that, right? And Jason and
Yeah.
so scary characters. And then like life scares, like just life. I'll just put down
Walking
as
down
life
an alley.
scares for now. Yeah, back an alley,
Like stuff like that.
downtown Edmonton
Downtown Edmonton.
scares the hell out of me. Heights, that type of thing.
Driving fast. Planes.
Airplanes, yeah, that's a good one. You're scared of a lot of
Birds.
stuff, Adrian. Oh, birds.
Jesus.
Yeah. What about a scary animal?
Scary animals.
should definitely
See,
be a
but
good
is it? Are you taking your frights, or are you placating
Well,
to
I
the
think
masses?
you can find out what animal in general would be
yeah.
scariest.
Yeah.
Right? What would be the scariest animal?
Oh,
I think if you're one-on-one
Shark
in a
in the
room
middle
with
of the
someone,
ocean?
a shark. Oh, and the ocean is scary too. So I think the life scares category has to be pretty big. I think the sports scares category could probably be 3 deep.
Rip City Step, Tommy's scary personal long-term girlfriend. That's what I'm saying. You can go off-road with this draft. I think you can really kind of get a little creative.
Yeah, so
long shorts.
keep the ideas rolling in
Scotland
here.
Gord says scary objects. Example, Ouija board. So maybe
Okay, scary object. Okay,
That's good.
That could maybe be a oneer. Life scares, I think we could probably go 4 deep. Movies, we could easily do 2. Scary characters, we could probably do 2. So just quickly putting this together with you guys here right now. Go ahead, Trev.
What about like a scary sound or a jingle?
Ooh.
Like, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, like, you know, like what's that one?
Yeah, there's lots of
The Exorcist, like theme.
Oh, a scary song
Like
or
that
scary
one spooks
sounds.
me.
Mike Myers,
Yeah.
Halloween or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those crazy sirens, those are
Yeah,
scary.
you got to come up with something that people will be very familiar with.
That's the
that
thing.
one.
You
The
have to.
Exorcist
Yeah.
one.
That's
Yeah.
where Tommy's gonna Ghostbusters theme.
The one ghost on Ghostbusters.
yeah. Classic movie. He'll say.
Tommy's the man of the people in drafts now.
Well, that's- yeah,
he
he's
still
the
gets
people's
dub.
champ. Yeah.
Maybe he still gets the dub on this. Who knows? All right, 780-218-9999. This one, Dex is in. It says, guys, that little park downtown 105th Street at 3 a.m. on a Saturday night.
No, you have to be a little more specific on
Nacho
parks
Man,
downtown.
needles, scared of needles and snakes.
Yeah.
Snakes would be a great one for scary animal. All right, so let's just see here. Scary characters, 2 of them. Scary movies, 2 of them. That's 4 spots. Scary sports situations, 3. That's 7. Scary animal, 8. Life scares, 4 deep. That's 12. Scary object, 13. Scary sounds, 14. So we're already 14, 15,
Do we need an
16
open
rounds in.
category in this? And if so, how many would
Well,
be?
I wonder if does life scares count as the open category? Or do you want a bonus open category so you can go with like 3 scary movies?
yeah. So you
Let me
could
just
kind
put
of.
open and I'll put a question mark
Sure,
next
yeah.
to it. All right, keep these suggestions rolling in. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. We'll get into that as we continue to work our way through the show this morning. What was that?
Pumped.
You're this is what you're fired up about.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, like let's go.
Yeah, you're
Can't wait to
really
watch these
excited
box
for this
seats.
draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We'll have
can't
to have a
wait
little
to
dish
see.
of candy, mini
This one's
chocolate
just-
bars.
That
or
makes
something,
sense.
Right? Again.
I want to find a Freddy Krueger mask and wear it the entire
be fun.
draft.
yeah.
Just you scared the whole show.
Yeah, I sit right next to Tommy. I'm just going to stare at his face.
I'll bring my Trevor Lawrence mask too.
That is scary looking.
That's my first overall pick.
Yeah.
so good.
All right. So Joel says, guys, what about shows? Like a villain on a show? I think I could go in as scary characters. We could probably, guys. What about a scary famous or famous weapon or prop? Scary.
We had a object. Is that kind of the?
We do have scary objects.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could
Same type of
work
thing.
in there. All right. So there's man. This is gonna be a good
A
draft.
tin of oysters for you, eh? You're throwing Horton's cards at me.
Vegetable.
A Brussels sprout.
Stop it.
You turn
Scariest
into a
round
puddle of
ever.
water.
My entire open category is just different vegetables. People be like, "Is that Dusty's?" Yeah, that's
Oh,
Dusty's.
yeah.
All right, let's get to a sports update for Nisku Glass. And all your glass needs, Nisku Glass, they got you covered. Whatever you need. If it involves an object that you can see through, that's glass, and they've got you covered over there. Coming up, Tales of the North, also on the way. We'll get to Fired Up. Trev's fired up for the draft right now. I'm fired up about a few things. We're gonna get to that, and more discussion on them splitting up McDavid and Draisaitl. For how long? And will it work this time? We'll get into that. Let's get to an update right now with LT.
Lamar Jackson threw 5 touchdowns as the Ravens improved to 5-2 with a 41-31 win down in Tampa. The loss drops the Buccaneers to 4-3. They also lost receivers Mike Evans and Chris Godwin to injury. Elsewhere, Chad Ryland had a 32-yard walk-off field goal, leading the Cardinals over the Chargers 17-15. Just one game in the NHL last night. Leafs 5-2 over the Lightning. The Oilers look to get back in the win column tonight. They open a 2-game homestand against the Hurricanes. Tom Gazzola will have your GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows. Coverage beginning at 6 here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Oilers-Canes one of 16 games around the NHL tonight. Elsewhere, the Jets look to remain undefeated in St. Louis. The Canucks visit the Blackhawks. Flames host the Penguins, while the Golden Knights are at home to the Kings. And regular season action in the NBA tipping off tonight with a pair of games. The Celtics host the Knicks, while the Timberwolves visit the LA Lakers. The Raptors season opener goes tomorrow at home to the Cavaliers. Nisku Glass is growing and now hiring. If you're a nasty that wants to work with other nasties that can cut glass and replace windshields, then we want to hear from you. Email your resume to info@niskuglass.ca or stop by our shop to apply today.
You better watch your step. All gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes. It's all gas, no brakes. We win the championship and plan a parade. Step out on the court and it's over quick. All aces to go like Djokovic. You're at the 3-point line, no time on the clock. You don't even need to watch, you know I'm hit it. 82-0 plus 16 mo. That's a perfect season and a championship. Me and Zach run tracks like Andre DeGrasse and Usain Bolt. You can't handle it. We at the Estes looking for the belt. We the best like Gretzky, Messi, and Phelps. You want to test me? Better bring help. Calm under pressure. You get overwhelmed. It's all gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes. It's all gas, no brakes. We win the championship and plan a parade. All gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes. It's all gas, no brakes. We win the championship and plan a parade.
Let's kick it off, gotta cheer for your team. The city of champs, win the gold and the green. Ice in my veins and the turf on my feet. Keeping it up on the waves and the streams. Dusty, Trevin, LTE, Tommy G, Matty I, Jay and Jasmine. After that it's 1-3. We got the smoker cooking up with the Latino heat. 3-6 on a drive, you know we score when we go live. It's Reed Wilkins and J Mill to glue the seams. Man, really, it's a dream. It's just been a year, but it's clear no one else got us beat. Our own beer and our own booze, and now this. Man, really, it's hard to believe. Great host, better guess, all works, no breaks, no rest. Get the check, hit the mark, no mistakes. We the GOAT like LeBron James or MJ. Anyways, here's to you. You the nasties through and through. Couldn't do this without you, and it's true. Man, here's to year 2.
Here's to year 2. Here's to year 2. Couldn't do it without you. So here's to year 2. EST. It's all gas, no brakes. 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 We win the championship and plan a parade. It's all gas, no brakes. 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 We win the championship and plan a parade. You better
Watch yourself.
The clear choice for sports is no competition. If you're debating, you're hating, or you just don't listen. Go, 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 go. It's all gas, no brakes.
All right, all gas, no breaks. So what a way to get going on the show today on a game day of all things. Dusty and Lieutenant Eric with you. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, we're almost changing 100. Hammer the thumbs up for us over there. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. Trev, we got Jamie McLennan coming up at 7:05 today. That picture of Craig Button is great, but...
You should always have a picture of Button up there. Yeah.
I think we should always just have a picture of Button
framed
on the. Look how fast this guy is. Look at this guy. He's a wizard. He's a wizard. This young YouTube Trev,
like a ninja.
Working behind the scenes, and before you know it, you're going to get that part of the video updated. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, congratulations, you've made it. For those of you who are having issues over there, it took you a little while to connect. I am continuing to work with Nathan on these things.
Any update on the Nate dog? Here?
Nothing yet. Nothing from Nate. He's probably having a nap or something overseas.
Went out for a pint.
An idiot. All right, so we're looking at Scary Things draft. Then we're going to get to Fired Up. Then we're going to talk some Oilers on the line combinations. This was a great addition. Each of us have to draft one scary way to die.
Because then it removes death from the whole
Then you
picture.
can't just take death.
It's too easy.
Everybody has a category. So drowning... being buried alive.
We all have one, I think.
I got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So that would be, that's a good one.
Just one.
That's just one category.
You need
for
one,
that. Oh, and then somebody else suggested scary social situation, which is awesome. Like
real good.
New kid at school, meeting the parents of your significant other. There's a lot of different ones you can do.
First threesome.
There's so many that you'd be nervous about. So let's do Tales of the North, I guess. All right. Good to have you back, buddy.
Likewise.
Last week, Fraser just sort of sat there while I did my own thing.
What? He didn't even dress up.
He didn't do anything.
Ah, man, he could have used the.
He just sat there. He just sat there. That was it. It was. You know what? It was pretty funny. I'll give him credit for that. But it was good. All right, let's get into Tales of the North. Oilers and the Hurricanes tonight. Oh yeah, see, somebody said RCN says being eaten by a shark. See, what would you rather be? What would suck more, drowning or being eaten by a shark? Like, if you're drowning, would you not just be like, man, I wish a shark would just come along and eat me?
Tis a troublesome predicament.
All right, let's get into Tales of the North this morning. Oilers and Hurricanes tonight.
Who owns the North? Who owns the North? Show me!
Ooh, Brick Burns, you gap-toothed heathen. That is nothing more than a primer paternoster.
Tonight in the North, the Orange and Blue return home to Rogers, following a 2-game campaign down south, claiming victory in Music City, but suffering a loss in the Lone Star State. Now they once again to have a chance to avenge one of the most heartbreaking defeats in the history of battle. 18 winters have passed since the mighty Oil was slain in 7 by Rod the Bod and his crew of Caniacs. Now that very same sculpted god returns with a cold glare right in the soul of Knobloch the Garlic Knight. He who was chosen by Bob has yet to unleash the most dangerous weapon in all the land. A power play so fierce, the opposition would shake in their bladed boots, as a trip to the sin bin most certainly would end in shame. These are the tales of the North, and may they be heard far and wide across this great land.
Ooh, Trip Tracy, I choppy your rhesus penis.
Tales of the North.
The chosen by Bob line.
I promise you, the only place you'll find it is right here on Edmonton Sports Talk.
You had me keeling on that one.
Well, I mean,
I know, but you're not lying.
You talk about somebody for 10 straight years, odds are they'll get a job.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say about Trip Tracy at the end?
So, Jocelyn, listener Jocelyn, right, last night, she's a big Hurricanes fan.
Yes.
Her and her partner, Jay, went down to Ice District a couple of days ago when the Hurricanes got in. And she wanted to see some Hurricanes, met a few players. Trip Tracy was there, the color guy, right?
Pickup truck guy.
And last year, he had a faux pas, as she said, and he called Reese's Pieces on air Reese's Penis.
A classic mix-up.
So she gifts him a bunch of Reese's Pieces and some Reese's Pieces lip chap. And he loved it. So much so that he put her on his Instagram story.
Oh, my goodness.
So I had to include that in today's...
You know
and
you
the
made it
choppy, a little Val Venus for you wrestling fans out there, of course. So it's all... He said it.
It's all coming together
He said
now.
it. Yeah, it's
All right.
It's not me. I just...
Tales of the North, Oilers and Canes. Try to get them back for 2006. See if that can happen tonight.
Who are the Hurricanes, eh?
Oh, you know what? We're going to get into a little bit of Jamie McLennan. Like, are the Hurricanes still an elite team in the East? Or have they've been an elite regular season team? Are they still that? Or are they falling off a bit? That's what I'm curious about. Find out tonight. GCL Diesel pregame show gets started at 6 o'clock with Tommy Gazzola, Hernan Salas, and Matt Cassian.
See, here's Jocelyn with Trip. She texted in. He's a Lions. Yeah, your type of guy.
Earned my respect now. Why didn't you just say so? All right, Nasty Chat's hopping along today. Paris Jewelers inbox flying as well. 780-218-9999 is where you can get in over there this morning. All right, let's get into Fired Up. Gemco Fireplaces has been proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years and are the authorized dealer for Napoleon fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. All right, Trev is obviously fired up about...
Do you need to take off your cloak?
I probably do. I can't get into a real
good... hot.
I can't get into a real good rant wearing my Tales of the North
Undo
sweat.
a button, if you will.
Now you're in trouble. Trev, so you're fired up about the draft, obviously. You're not even in the draft. You're fired up about this draft.
I know. I'm going to bring popcorn and just watch and
You and
judge.
T-Roy, you'll have to...
Oh, yeah. T-Roy will probably be
The
here.
Godfather. The Godfather will dictate.
That'll be my one-on-one
put the
time
pen-
with T-Roy, which means he'll bring in some A&Dub.
Yeah, he will.
And that'll be awesome. And I love that about T-Roy. And just, this is a fun draft. I'm very fired up about it. And then obviously the Tales of the North, I always get fired up about that.
You do really enjoy that.
Yeah, so I'm all sorts of fired up right now.
Me too. So here's what I'm fired up with. Technology, man. Technology, like how many of you, I mean, I love technology, but I hate technology right now. With a capital H. That's what I hate. I'm fired up about it. So obviously we had the sabotage, the internet sabotage,
yes,
which was screwing with our YouTube stream for Thursday and Friday last week, as determined, vandalized. Rogers declared it vandalized. So we had to deal with that. Out of our control. So we had that we had to worry about. Then now we have this. Well, for a while now we've had this ridiculous tune in and iHeart. And EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the player starts sometimes it doesn't. Today, iHeart says that you can't listen to it in this country, but 5 minutes later, you can listen to it. Also, I believe, out of our hands. We're sending the signal to them. Whoever, the company that sends it out to these different platforms, they're like, I don't know, it seems to be working for us. This just in, it isn't. But once again, something I think has kind of been taken out of our hands that I'm trying to get to the bottom of. And then to top it all off, I come in last night. I put the kids to bed. I get in here around 8:30. I settle in. So what we do behind the scenes a little bit, you see where the logos, the two little circles where the logos rotate. That's called a carousel in this program. So it's the logo rotator. I came in last night because some of the logos, they look a little small. So I finally figured out a way to let the rotator work so that the logos could pretty much fill up as much as they possibly can of the circle. So I was all fired up about it yesterday. I got it done for pre and post, and I told Tam last night, I said, I'm going to work for a couple hours, work on these logos. So I was in here last night, got the entire EST Afternoons and Reed Wilkins Show rotators updated. You should see them. They look spectacular. I was very pleased with it. And then right as I was, and don't worry, it was saved, but right as I was about to sort of wrap up, the program that we used to stream the video I wasn't streaming at the time. I was just sort of working offline. It freezes up and shuts down. And I've been using this program at home for 5 years, so I know it happens sometimes. So I reload the program and it pops up and says, would you like to recover that? So I was like, okay. It pops back up again and it says, sorry, critical error, have to shut back down. and the entire file for the Reed Wilkins Show on EST Afternoons is corrupt. It will not load.
Corrupt.
I'm going to have to now. And so I was all pumped up. I was like, man, this looks terrific. Mission accomplished. I knew I could figure this out. And then it's like 10:15 last night. I hadn't even gone home and prepped for this show yet. It's 10:15 last night. And I think it's done. Perfect. I'll come in and do our show tonight or something. And then it freezes up. The file is corrupt. It won't load. And now between our show today and Lock Shop today, I've got to completely rebuild the Reed Wilkins Show and the EST Afternoons. And I shut it down and I walked out last night and I was furious. So I'm fired up about technology right now. Like stuff that is out of our hands. We can't do anything about. Yeah, I hate not having control of something. And now it's been happening all over the place. I'm fired up about it. I hate it. I just wish things could work as they're supposed to work. This is why we pay money for all this stuff. It's ridiculous.
Coming off the back end of Dustin with the Y, digitally dying.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing.
It's a good, and a lesson learned last night is you backing things up and everything, but in this case, no chance. And you came here, hoping to get a little bit of positive work done, and you did, and you're feeling good.
It was a very productive 2 hours.
And then it stone cold stuns you into the ground, right? Like
it just,
and you're helpless. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it drives me nuts.
Somebody wonders if the issue with the streaming is this guy uploading it is in England. Maybe the system thinks your show is in England and won't let people play in Canada listen.
No, but it worked for the first 11 months.
Yeah.
Without a hitch. It was fine. So that doesn't make sense either. But it's been driving me crazy, technology lately, and I just had to get it off my chest. That's what I'm fired up about. Dave in Section T says, guys, what? iHeart's not working? I'm listening through iHeart right now.
No?
This is what drives me the most nuts.
Twitter Mary says, good morning from Atlanta.
Oh, cool.
So she's not even in the country, and she can listen. People in the country can't.
I don't, but, lots of people are listening.
Oh, yeah.
It's so hit and miss that it's just...
The randomness pisses you off. It's the teasing that gets you.
Well,
as you said, if it was just one or the other.
Don't tell me, our company offers support around the clock. And then I don't hear from you for 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense either.
If Nathan was participating in the draft, he'd probably choose you. That's the scariest thing right now.
Oh, yeah, he should.
He should.
He should. If that Nathan guy walked in here right now, I would rear naked choke him out right here on the table.
Go to sleep.
And he's like, who are you, Zapsicum? And I'd say, don't worry about it. I'll do this right now. Anyway, do you know how it's very frustrating? Extremely frustrating. Rip City Step says, guys, sounds like the hangout will be a good time to discuss how MJ is superior to LeBron today.
Yes, you can join myself, Matthew Iwanek, and Dean Belanger. You won't be able to watch, though, because you'll be fixing
I'll
all
be
this.
sitting. Yeah, that's what I think.
It's
What
too
Rip
bad.
City
You were
Step's
very-
saying.
yeah.
I won't be able to pay attention to it.
Well,
With that
we'll
being
break
said,
it
it's
all
a
down.
completely false statement.
Well,
If you want to keep me fired up,
Yeah.
well, consider this. Congratulations, Step. You managed to get it done. Here's another reason LeBron James is the greatest of all time. He's going into year number 22. And the best panel in the NBA, the TNT panel, just did their consensus top 30 or top 50 players. Number 5 on the list, LeBron James.
Not bad.
In his 22nd season. Do you know how ridiculous this is? 22 years in. Chuck, Shaq, Kenny, Ernie, they have him as the 5th best player in the league. In year 22, the dude's 40. I mean, how is that not the greatest player of all time? And don't worry, I looked it up. Michael Jordan with the Wizards, hovering around the top 30, not top 5. So,
are they going to let him and Bronny just have a dribble to tip off the game? I think it's fitting to kind of...
Yeah. I said earlier, the Griffies are going to be in attendance.
have a dribble with Daddy.
Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. are coming in to see LeBron and LeBron James Jr.
And you'll be watching it with Marshall. It'll be a father-son
I
evening.
might let him stay up tonight for that game. Yeah.
Just for the first...
Let's watch it together, son.
That'll cool you down after getting so fired up.
Anyway,
Hopefully.
I mean, just respect a guy who's in year 22 still being the 5th best player in the league, according to Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal.
Their words, not yours.
I'm not making this
it
up.
The TNT
it's
panel.
not like I put together this crazy list.
You're just
in
asking for a little respect.
I think ESPN put together their top 100 as well. He was number 7 on their list. Year 22.
Dr.
You know how many future Hall of Famers are in their prime right now, and LeBron's in year 22 and still a top 10 player in the league?
Dr. J says he's a man. He's 40.
Yeah, he is. Well, that's what it just is now.
He's a man.
Now let's see what he can do.
Yeah, well.
Now let's see what he can do. 780-218-9999 if you are over on YouTube today.
Jordan was so good, he took prime years off to play another sport. LeBron was good enough to do that.
Now that guy does say troll.
Unsigned text.
He does say troll.
Is that what we're putting him in as troll here? I think,
I'm not getting.
You are added. Sir,
I'm not
as
getting.
troll.
I'm not getting sucked in. Scalding Gord says, guys, the cutting out is a pain at times, but I got to get my fix. I don't drink or do drugs, but I mainline EST. That's pretty good. Pat says, guys, I heard has always worked for me, but I'm in St. Albert.
Oh.
My problem with tech is that Whale and the Wolf comes on during Scalding Hot Takes, and I miss some critical takes. Happened that one time. This one says, guys, maybe your VPN is on a server from Timbuktu.
Put it on the map.
A classic Timbuktu reference. All right, so that's what I was fired up about. Started with technology, ended up being like people who don't respect LeBron, who's going into year 22 and is still the 5th best player in the NBA.
Do you feel cleansed a bit?
Yeah, I feel pretty good.
I don't know.
I'd feel better if Nathan got back to me
know.
and was like, hey, it turns out it was on our end and we've completely fixed the issue. I can't wait to the day I message Nathan and be like, hey, we found another service provider. See you later.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
What do you think about that, Nathan? Who'll have the last laugh, Nathan?
I still want you raw dogging that flight all the way to England.
All the way to England.
Just sitting there thinking of him.
That's it.
Staring at the seat, Jason Moss style.
Jason Moss definitely does that.
Right.
100%.
Just focused.
Jamie McLennan's coming up just after 7 o'clock. The Edmonton Oilers, line combinations from yesterday, they've mixed up the top 6 again. They're going back to what it was at the beginning of the season. YouTube, Trev, I got to get your thoughts on this, buddy. McDavid and Draisaitl split up. We don't get the Nuge, Skinner, Hyman line we were looking for. We get Hyman, McDavid, and Nuge back together. Skinner, Draisaitl, and Arvidsson back together for the game tonight. We saw at the beginning of the year that line was together, and we thought, you give them 5 to 10 games and see what they're capable of. Instead, they got 36 minutes before Knobloch decided to mix it up. Haven't really got a look at it over the last 3 or 4 games. Trev, what do you think of the decision to put that top 6 back the way it was to start the year?
It's very interesting. We're here again having the same conversation. Do you think they achieved their goal? Like what they were trying to do was get McDavid and Draisaitl going. Once they're going, let's split them off. Let's have them on their own lines and see what they can do. But Connor and Leon, when they were together, they didn't really provide much offense. Like you look at the numbers, like Zach Hyman still has 0 goals. So I think it was pointless putting them together in the first place because that's what it was. They just want to get it. They just wanted to get them, going. They didn't get going, and so then that didn't work out. So then now they're just resorting back to where they were before. And I feel like it's just going to be this circle of just keep on doing the same thing. So I don't know. Like I don't know what they were going for. Like if they did that route, if they planned that, I feel like they should have waited it out at least 2 more games to finally let the floodgates open. That's my thoughts on it. But I mean, in saying that as well, like I don't like them being together, and this team's better when Connor and Leon are not on the same line. So here's hoping if they don't score, if they have a bad 20, just let it
leave
them
it.
play.
Just let it be.
Like crazier things have happened. That's such a short sample size. 20 minutes. It doesn't matter who you are. Like you're still playing against other NHL teams. So just let them be. Don't touch it. Just let it see like what they can do for 1 game and then go from there. But I'm tired of like you give them 20 minutes time, not even like a full period. What is that? 6 minutes, and then you're not going to get any chemistry. Well, you wonder why, because you're always tinkering with the lineup. So don't change it. Like not even after. I wouldn't even do it after a penalty kill. When they boost up that top line, and whether it's Corey Perry, McDavid, or Draisaitl after a penalty kill.
You wouldn't even do it after that.
I wouldn't even do that.
Oh, wow.
Just like let's see these guys get some chemistry going. And it's like what were you doing in preseason? Like why have these lines and then already game 2 of the season just switch it back? Like what was the point of preseason, right? Like they had some chemistry and then I don't know. Does it go away that quick? Maybe not. But I don't get the point in putting them together for 2-3 games there to really see them get their confidence and get their scoring touch back. And they didn't even accomplish that. And then now they're like, okay, well. that didn't work, so let's just put them together, and now they have, no offense going. So it'll be interesting to see, but just don't touch the line. Just let it be like this for tonight and see how they handle, a competitive Carolina Hurricanes team.
I think you make a good point, Trev, in that, and Tube Socks had a good comment that we'll get to as well. We got Jamie McLennan just after 7 o'clock. We'll continue to discuss this. Rick, though, the one point that Trev made, in that you put them back together to get them going, but they didn't get going.
So why
and now you're separating them again, right? Like, so
to get them going.
Well, but Tube Socks in the chat makes a good point. He goes, why do you have to put McDavid and Draisaitl together to get them going? Like, should these two guys not be the guys who are getting everybody else going?
Yeah, no,
which is a 100% fair take.
And you still have Hyman and Arvidsson pointless on that right side. So, yeah, no, it's a fair take, and it's an accurate take as well. And I mean, we shall see. I just, if it didn't work, now you go back to this. Now, if it doesn't work tonight, I agree though with the hands-off aspect. Just leave it and let it settle and let it sit and let it bake for a bit. See what you got. We were talking earlier too in the season before puck drop. I think you give it a month. You give it. I think talking about Skinner and that type of thing. You're giving it, at least till the end of October. Now you've already seen things flip flop, snip snap, snip snap.
Well, they played 6 games, and I'm trying to think how many games they started with the same line combinations. Because even if it's just not the top 6, it was. Well, I guess it was. They put Colson up onto the second line for a game. Then they moved Janmark up there on the second line for a game. They moved Skinner from the second line to the first line and then down to the third line. There has been zero chance for anybody to really play together for an extended period of time so far this season. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it sorts out. 780-218-9999. Call in the Amishman businesses. YouTube Trev asks, what's the point of preseason? Apparently for the others, there was no point because they're still not ready. Over in the Nasty Chat, people are chiming in on this as well. Some stranger says, guys, where would Evander Kane fit in when he does come back? Look, man, we're not, what is it, October 22nd? He's not going to play until February or March. So we're not going to talk about, we're not like, when he fits in, he plays left side somewhere on the, somewhere in the top 9, probably not on a Draisaitl line. They don't connect. Outside of that, fit him in wherever. Zulu says 97 and 29 together on the line is not as good as the rest of the world thinks. LOL. Well, it wasn't so far this year. It has been at times in the past. But those guys aren't even going on the power play just yet. So there will be an offensive explosion from this team at some point. Like there's a 7-goal game coming down the pipe here. Maybe on this two-game homestand, maybe not. But I think there's an offensive explosion coming at some point for this team. They're too talented up front to be scoring 2 goals per game. It just makes no sense. None at all whatsoever. All right, let's get into the second hour of the show. We got Jamie McLennan coming up just after 7 o'clock. We'll get his thoughts on where the Hurricanes are at right now. We'll go there. He's in Utah for the Sens game tonight. Skinner's back with Draisaitl and Arvidsson. Will they actually have a chance to play together for an extended period of time? And if they do, what does it look like? We'll give you the early bird special. We are 1 week away from the Lock Shop Poker Series event number 3. That'll be going down a week from today. Next Tuesday night, I streamed for 4.5 hours for the last tournament. And I plan on doing the same for this one. The EST Flyway to LA. We got that keyword coming up. Weekly confessions and the Fan Zone. Fan Zone. We'll kind of continue this conversation at the Fan Zone for fans first. That's all on the way in hour number 2. Let's get to a sports update right now with Lieutenant Eric from Green Plan. Davin and the crew over at Green Plan. Rick's got more on that.
Lamar Jackson tossing 5 touchdowns. The Ravens improved to 5-2 with a 41-31 win over the Buccaneers. The loss dropping Tampa to 4-3. They also lost receivers Mike Evans and Chris Godwin to injury. The other game last night saw Chad Ryland with a 32-yard walk-off field goal, leading Arizona over the Chargers 17-15. Leafs 5-2 over the Lightning in the lone game in the NHL last night. 16 games around the league tonight, including the Oilers hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. Tom Gazzola will get you set. He'll have your GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows coverage starting at 6 here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Elsewhere, the Golden Knights are at home to the Kings. The Flames host the Penguins. Canucks visit Chicago while the Jets look to remain undefeated. They're in St. Louis to battle the Blues. Regular season action in the NBA tips off tonight with a pair of games. Celtics are at home to the Knicks while the Timberwolves visit the Lakers. The Raptors season opener goes tomorrow at home to the Cavaliers. Sports Update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting service. Whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential, plan it right with Green Plan. Visit green-plan.com or give them a call, 780-455-4292.
What say you?
Changing a hundred.
Nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in on TuneIn, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind? 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Dusty and Eric and all of the bad cats like Brzezinski and Noodles. Captain can gauge it. But a cool bed to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Sharky's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat left the tie of fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about Amanda Canes? Macramel, Rapaport, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All the fun of giving present, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
7:03 on the Nielson Show as we kick off another day here on Edmonton Sports Talk. What a day it is. Matthew Wannick returns. He'll be on the hangout from 9 to 11 today. I know Tommy and Reed are both going down to the rink on a game day. You'll probably see a rink report from them pop up on YouTube a little bit later on today. Lock shop with myself and Huss from 11 to 12. Two guys and a goalie with myself, Cass, and Gager from 12 until 1. EST afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage from 1 until 3. The Reed Wilkins show from 3 until 6. And then the GCL Diesel pregame show gets rolling at 6 o'clock tonight. That'll take you up to puck drop. And, of course, after puck drop, the GCL Diesel postgame show with Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas, and Matt Cassian. So a full slate of programming right here on TuneIn, on iHeart, and at edmontonsportstalk.com today. And, of course, everything you hear over there, you can watch on YouTube as well. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, please give us a sub and hammer that thumbs up. We would love that as well. And we'll get to that. Jamie McLennan's going to join us shortly. I think he's popped in on the back end, so we'll bring Noodles in here. And we'll dive in. I believe he's in Utah, or I think he's doing that Sens game.
Home of the Yeti.
Oh, that is what I like. The Outlaws. I wish they would have gone with the Outlaws with the old cowboy and like the
big old stash.
The old
yeah.
stash, right?
I don't mind that.
Did you ever watch Hell on Wheels?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I like
a lot of old mustaches.
Imagine them getting onto the ice and they kick open like bar doors, like a saloon door. Like
yes.
boom, man, they get out
now
there.
That would be, yes. God, that's a great idea, Eric. You should be in charge of a National Hockey League team's promotions and marketing.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
Eric at edmontonsportstalk.com. Inquire within.
Don't leave us.
I can do both. Come on.
You could do both, definitely. You could do both. So we got Jamie McLennan today. He's our hockey insider, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. Order and submission deadline for their private signing with 5-time Stanley Cup champion Randy Gregg is Saturday at 4 p.m. That's the deadline. Located in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail on 128th Ave or online at proamsports.ca. Let's bring in Jamie McLennan this morning. Noodles, good morning. Where are you, man? What's going on with you right now?
I'm in a cement cell in Utah. I don't know if you can see the roof. It's like cement, my hotel room. I don't know.
Well, at least it's only one trip a year, Noodles.
Exactly. I'm in Utah. So we stay at a hotel right by the rink, and it seems like a good setup. I'll go head down to the rink this morning, and I'm kind of excited to see it. I mean, I have a few buddies that are in the organization. They rave about the city. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you fire up the Google machine, I used to play for the Salt Lake City Golden Eagles in like 1992 or something like that. And we had terrible jerseys. It was a bad setup. We played out at the same rink, the Delta Center, but we probably got about 800 people a night. It was a little bit thinner with the crowd, but I haven't been back in 30 years, but the city's grown and it looks pretty cool. And it certainly sounds like they've embraced hockey here, which is really good.
Just 1 year for you down there, or was it multiple years?
No, I was here half a season and then I got called up. So that would have been my first kind of half year in the NHL. And then another time I got sent down for like a month here. So I laughed because the Uber driver that picked me up yesterday, I remember my address when I had an apartment here. And I had a place in New York and I got sent down. So I was really cheap. I didn't want to pay for two places and stuff. So I think I was paying, I'm not lying, like $400 a month rent. And the place was like in gang territory. And I was like, I remember at night just being like laying on this mattress, like being afraid because I could just hear all hell breaking loose outside of my apartment. So I asked him, I said, is Redwood Road still a gritty place? He's like, no, it's all good. I'm like, all right. Like, back then I was like terrified, and I was like 22 years old and had this shady apartment in Salt Lake City. It was still traumatic. I'm still thinking about it now.
Well, and now you're in a cement hotel room, so you've come a long way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm right back to where I began.
Hey, just quickly, because you are doing that game tonight, then we'll get to the Oilers and Hurricanes. Utah's had a nice start to the season. Is this like a new location energy bump, or do you think maybe not this sustainable, but are they a much better hockey team this year?
They are a much better hockey team because they went and got some players. And, Bill Armstrong was aggressive. He got Sergachev. You look at, they added, guys that just have, they're more, I would call them more NHL players. And then you've got young kids that are coming. I mean, this Gunther's a player, they already had some good players in place. So I think Ingram's a decent goaltender. I think their D have kind of shored up. So if you ask me, I don't know if they're a playoff team. They've had a great start, but it could be the new city bump. But I think Arizona was turning the corner. Now all of a sudden you get an owner that's willing to, my understanding is he's just basically said, whatever you want, you can have. They've got lots of draft picks. They've got lots of currency. Bill Armstrong, I think, has done a good job. We interviewed him last week, and he was saying, we have turned a corner, and he was proud of how their organization and their young players were kind of taking that next step. So I think there are some guys who are going to be really good players. There might be still a little bit of growing pains, but I think they're kind of out of that rebuild mode and pushing to going to try and be at least in that playoff conversation.
Just one more on this one. Do you feel like just getting there, a bit of a buzz, bit of a vibe down there? Like, what's your initial just first taste?
You know what? Went for dinner last night. It's weird. There's a buzz downtown, but I don't know if it's a unique city, right? And keep in mind, I played junior in Lethbridge, which had a huge Mormon population, right? Yeah. And there's a big Mormon population here, but went for a nice dinner last night. You could see some people had jerseys on, stuff like that. I kind of I don't know how you guys feel. I heard you talking about the Yeti and all that. I liked when the NFL, the Commanders were just the Washington football team. To me, I wanted this to be the Utah Hockey Club, like the UHC, and I love the colors. I love the setup. Obviously, when they announce it sounds like it's going to be the Yeti or whatever. They'll be able to do it all over again from a merchandising standpoint. So I think I think they've got a plan in place, and it'll be pretty cool.
And I swear to God, this just came in on a text. Did you see this thing? Somebody just texted in and said, shout out to the Golden Eagles. I was one of the 800 watching Noodles back then. And then this guy screen caps what looks like a shaved leg with a Golden Eagles tattoo on it.
No way.
Yeah. I did
That
not
is-
have that on the bingo card today, but
We'll tweet it at you here.
that just came in.
That-
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. I mean, Canadian? Does he live in Edmonton?
I don't know. It's
Like,
an
I need to know
It's an
more.
801 number. I mean, he's texted in a few other
That's
times.
Salt Lake City. 801 is Salt Lake City.
Yeah,
So-
he said right here, actually. I see a text from earlier in the month. Says, guys, as a Salt Lake City AM nasty, I have to say I really like Salt Lake City HC, SLCHC. So, yeah, that's something.
So this is more, I don't know, you guys have the bandwidth that you're reaching fans in Salt Lake City, which is really cool, or the fact that this guy is, what is the tie to Edmonton other than the fact that it's just, I think this is awesome. Like this is, I hope this guy shows up at the rink this morning. I want to see this tattoo. If
Here's
he's a local guy.
the tattoo. Eric or YouTube Trev's got it. We're gonna show it up right now. Here's the tattoo that was just sent in.
Wow. Now, is the blood like is that fresh or?
I think it's by
Or is that
design
like-
because it comes all the way down. But yeah, that's funny.
Okay. That's
It makes it look like the
unbelievable.
puck is moving. So, yeah,
That's
wow.
unbelievable. I was going over some of my teammates. Like we had a young team down here, Zygmunt Palffy and Derek Armstrong, some guys like that were down here initially in Salt Lake City. And it was a great setup years ago. I just remember it, for me being a young kid, like I everything was kind of new. We came from upstate New York. We'd played for Capital District Islanders. And then we got the next year we were in Salt Lake City Golden Eagles. And we weren't a very good team, which I felt bad because we didn't really give the fans too much to cheer for. But I got called up about halfway through the season. But I loved my time in Salt Lake City. It was pretty cool.
All right, the Oilers get the Hurricanes tonight. All 32 teams in the National Hockey League have a game tonight, so a full slate in the NHL. I don't know if you had a chance to check out the Hurricanes at all this year. We were asking the question earlier today, like, are they still an at least elite regular season team in the East? Would that be a fair assessment?
I think they are. I think it's taking a little bit of time to sort out some of the new faces. You got a new manager there, was trying to, be progressive and some signings, stuff like that. But if they've got the framework of a really good team, I just don't think, I think they kind of mirror what the Oilers have gone through here early in the season. Is a really good team that, really hasn't found their stride yet consistently. Even though I liked that game the other day in Dallas, it got away from them in the third. I thought Edmonton was the better team for 2 periods. But that being said, the score was 4-1 and there were some missed assignments. And really, I thought, Ottinger was the difference. But I look at Carolina, I think Carolina is well balanced. I think they are an elite team that hasn't found their stride yet. So that's one thing. The Oilers, like you can't take this team lightly and look at them in the standings. Like Carolina's a team that'll hurt you if you don't play your game tonight, put it that way.
The Oilers yesterday at practice had split up McDavid and Draisaitl. We were discussing about this in the 6 o'clock hour in the show today. You two, Trev, made a good point. Like you put them together to try to get them going. They never really got going, and now you're going to split them back up. So your thoughts on early in the season? We've already seen them put together, and now we're seeing them go back to their separate lines again.
I think they'll just be fine if they get their individual games sharp. They're not.
Yeah.
That's what I look at Hyman as snake bitten. Hyman's making, like, there's plays in the last couple games where he's had looks in front where he tries that little roll the wrist 5-hole, and those were going in last year. This year they're not. Goalies have made good saves, but the goalies are also aware that Hyman tries to stuff pucks and jam 5-holes. So they're sealing the ice. He's going to have to be a little bit more creative. They're missing their spots. I don't think their power play is very sharp. RNH is still stuck in second gear for me. I don't think Bouchard is particularly sharp. It comes back to, now they had the 2-game winning streak, and to me, they looked like they were a semblance of the team that was coming. And again, I loved their first half of the game in Dallas. I thought they were really on top of it. But I would still say I'm not concerned about them until their top players are at their top game. And then if they don't have success, that's when you start to look at it, if it's an off year or something's going sideways. But their power play doesn't look sharp. They look like they're forcing things. McDavid doesn't look sharp with the puck. That's the one thing I've noticed is McDavid usually handles the puck really well at a high rate. And, controls plays and stuff. I don't think his passing, I don't think his puck handling has been elite like we've seen it. Or, he set the standard, right? So same thing with Draisaitl. I think they're forcing plays. It's not that they're not trying. I think the effort is there. I just don't think they're extremely sharp right now. So whether they're together or apart, it's more about their individual game that I'm more concerned about, getting to the level that we all expect. Then it doesn't matter. They play together or play separate. They're going to be elite, the cream of the crop that'll drag their team along.
Noodles, how concerned should fans be? You mentioned the special teams. Carolina's coming in tonight, 25%, ninth in the league on the power play. Early days, yes, but a metric to be concerned about, I think, for the Oilers and their penalty kill, 31st, 55%. How would you go about, just a little more patience, preaching patience, moving guys around, maybe giving more time to PP2? Where would you kind of lean on in trying to fix this power play? And, of course, the penalty kill as well.
Well, so the power play is very creative. I feel like Glenn Gulletson does a really good job and just allows them to go out and, even Draisaitl, I've heard him being interviewed saying, well, we've got an extra man out there. We got to figure out where the soft spots are. Now, a lot of that power play is through movement and good execution passing. I think too many times they haven't dumbed it down, and it's the shot and the tip in front. Then you start to create holes and spaces. But McDavid's got to have motion. They've got to have more motion. A few times there's been too many stagnant plays that look like other power plays, where the beauty of the Oilers' power play is motion and interchanging. And it comes back to being sharp. To being sharp, you've got to move fast and you've got to make decisions very quickly. And I don't think they're 100% there. As far as the penalty kill, I've been disappointed on, because I think they're penalty killing like they did in the playoffs last year at a high rate, which is super aggressive. But what teams are doing right now is just slowing their power play down and picking holes apart. And they're actually doing what the Oilers' power play did to many other teams to the Oilers' penalty kill, which is, finding holes, and you've got an aggressive penalty kill, and they're getting exposed because they're almost running out of position in certain situations to try and be aggressive and have layers there. It worked for them in the playoffs where they had that ridiculous streak. It's not working for them right now because teams have pre-scouted that, and they're moving the puck quickly, and they're finding seams.
Noodles, before we let you go, people are just asking, they want your thoughts on Stuart Skinner so far to start the season.
Hasn't been, I lump him with the top players there.
Yeah.
Just not at the top of their game yet. Like, I think, with Stu, he's sometimes less is more. And when he allows a goal where he just goes down and it looks like, hey, you didn't make that save, when he's at the top of his crease, when he's using his size, when he's using his athleticism, because he does have some athletic ability, then that's what it makes it look good. But I think he's slightly off. I wouldn't lay that Dallas game at his feet. I thought he made a couple good saves, but ultimately, I think he's at 85%. We need him at 100% to playing the top of his game. If I look at all of the players, including Ekholm, I don't think Ekholm's been at the top of his game. Bouchard, Draisaitl, Hyman, McDavid, RNH. Like, that's a long list of guys who are probably about 80 to 85% of what they're capable of. They got to get a lot higher. I'll throw in Nurse there too. Those guys have to play a lot better, and then I don't think we'll be worried about it. But right now, they're not there yet.
The guy with the tattoo said he will be at the rink tonight. So if you see somebody pointing to their leg, Noodles, that's him. If you see somebody like maddeningly pointing to their leg, it's him. So
I'm flying to Vegas tomorrow for 3 days. There'll be a lot of people pointing to their legs in Vegas, but not in Salt Lake City. So hopefully I'll run into him tonight at the game, I'm sure.
Good stuff, buddy. We'll chat next week.
Have a good one.
There you go. That's Jamie McLennan. He's a beauty. Brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. Order and submission deadline for the private signing with five-time Stanley Cup champion Randy Gregg is Saturday at 4 p.m. Located in Edmonton, the corner of St. Albert Trail and 120th Ave, or online at proamsports.ca. You can hop online on their website, proamsports.ca, to find out all the information on the Randy Gregg signing. I mean, Noodles laid it out. We talked about it yesterday on this show and on the Oil Stream. And he grouped Skinner in with the group of big boys who just aren't going. Like, Connor McDavid is on pace for an 82-point season. Draisaitl's on pace for less than that. Nuge has 2 assists. Bouchard has a goal and no assists. Hyman and Arvidsson don't have points yet. Like this is the core that is going to either deliver you a Stanley Cup or fail in getting it done. And so far to start the year, outside of Skinner, none of these guys, like I'm talking Jeff Skinner, outside of Jeff Skinner, none of these guys that you expect to lead the way have been actually doing what you expect of them.
Preseason game number 15 tonight, right? We need a longer preseason. That's what it is. They say in the NFL.
Georgia Satellite Zulu giving Noodles props. Yeah, he's the best, man. We love Noodles. I'd have him 5 days a week. He's terrific. Absolutely wonderful. If you would like to chime in, we're going to come back to it on the Fan Zone today for Fans First around 7:45 today. If you're looking for tickets to the game tonight, by fans, for fans, no fees, cheaper than anywhere else. You can find your tickets at fansfirst.ca. But we'll come back around to the juggling of the lines again as they get set for and that's the thing with the Dallas game is that they played pretty well in that game.
Yeah,
like they made some mistakes in the defensive zone. McDavid with the 1 turnover inside the blue line. Bouchard bobbles it. It ends up in the back of the net.
A couple early bounces, they could have gone up 2-0
well, that's
real early.
Like, did they really play so poorly that you're like, got to blow up the lines again?
Yeah.
I think you could have made a case coming out of the Dallas game, and you won the 2 before. You certainly, were the better team for 40 minutes in that Dallas game. You could have just come back and ran it back again.
Yeah, on the road against a great team, yeah.
So, I know it's interesting. We'll come back around to it during the Fan Zone, though. We'll get to that around 7:45. We got weekly confessions coming up just after 7:30 today. Right now, let's dive into a little early bird special. YouTube Trev, you are not allowed to pick the Raiders this week. Okay, that's...
no, I watched a little bit of that game. I was going to tweet at Scott Laurie.
Yeah, no, that's... the Raiders have been banned from our early bird specials.
Sorry about that.
Let you run that out last week with Scott and... Didn't like it. All right, so let's take a look at the board this week in the National Football League. Let's try to hit a little early bird and see what we can get. Here we go. Vikings and Rams on Thursday. Probably skip over that one this week. Save it for the weekend. So Eagles and Bengals, Ravens and Browns, Titans and Lions, Colts and Texans, Packers and Jags, Cardinals and Dolphins, Jets and Patriots, Falcons and Bucks, the Saints and the Chargers, the Bills and the Seahawks, the Panthers and the Broncos, the Chiefs and the Raiders, the Bears and the Commanders. The Commanders are home underdogs. That will change if Jaden Daniels' status is updated, I would think. And then the Niners and the Dallas Cowboys this week. Lieutenant
Bears on
Eric,
the road, I think.
The Bears are on the road,
Yeah.
and they're a favorite.
Okay.
But I think that changes if they're like, yes, Jaden Daniels is playing. There's no way the Commanders at 5-2 with Jaden Daniels would be an underdog at home against the Bears. But who are you throwing into the early bird special this week?
Texans had a rough loss on the road in Lambeau.
They did.
It's a tough game against the Colts, but they're back home.
They are back
Look
home.
for them to right the ship, maybe.
Okay, I like that. Texans minus 263 at home against the Colts. With Anthony Richardson at quarterback, I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying into the Colts.
They need to put Jamar Flaxen back in.
There you go. Make that work. YouTube Trev, who are you throwing in the mix this week?
Let's see here. Patriots over Jets would be funny. So would Titans over Lions. That'd be funny. But
that would be hilarious.
yeah, I think safe pick. I'm going to go with the Bengals over the Eagles this week.
Bengals over the Eagles. Okay. All right.
10 you're like that yesterday too, I believe.
We're already at plus 132, and I will throw into the mix. Man, how do the Bucks without Evans? I'm assuming they won't have Evans or Godwin.
Godwin's done.
Godwin's
That
done
ankle's
for sure.
busted,
We'll
yeah.
see what the update
Evans
is
is
on
a hamstring, I think. Eh?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that could be pushed
Week to week,
forward.
I think it was his status.
You know, I'm going to throw the Packers in here against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's fade the investment. All right, Texans, Bengals, and Packers. That'll be your early bird special. We'll get it over to Jake at CoolBet. Texans minus 263, Bengals minus 147, the Packers minus 227. It comes in at plus 234. We'll get a boost. It'll be close to 3-1, and that'll be available in the combo cards over at CoolBet. We are also 1 week away from the EST Lock Shop Poker event, the third event in the Lock Shop Poker series. We will be doing that next Tuesday. You can already go. I believe the tournament's already, like you can go in and register. We'll confirm that today. But if you download the CoolBet Poker software and then just go to tournaments and search Lock Shop, you should be able to go and register. It works out to about $30 Canadian to get in. We ended up having about 80 entries in the tournament a month ago, and very much looking forward to playing. I'm going to be super aggressive this time. That's my plan.
Focus.
Yeah.
Focus.
Super aggressive. Super aggressive early. A couple of chances to rebuy in that first hour or so. So I'm gonna try to make a move early. That's what I'm going to do this time. So be ready to join us next Tuesday night. There's no Oilers game. There's no Winnipeg Jets game. So Huss and I will be there, and it should be a pretty good time. All right, let's give you the keyword for the EST Flyaway to Los Angeles. Presented to you by 780.
Redbeard, cowards, go Raiders.
Yeah, sorry, Redbeard. Not allowing that to happen again. The moment he picked the Raiders last week, I was very concerned. The EST Flyaway to LA. It is NBA, NFL, NHL action. We've got the Clippers and the Warriors. We've got the Cardinals and the Rams. And then we've got Edmonton versus either the Ducks or the Kings, depending on the scheduling of the NFL game. It's all presented to you by 780. It's both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com. That's the word 7, the number 80, SEVEN 80.com, or at any of their 5 locations: Southgate Mall, Londonderry Mall, Kingsway Mall, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall out by the airport.
Which you'll be paying a visit to soon.
I'll probably be rushed coming home on Sunday again, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to get to that airport location, or the airport mall location out there. Today's keyword is, how are we just getting to this word now, hey? Yeah, today's keyword is hockey. Text hockey to 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Today's keyword is hockey. You're going to want to text that to 780-218-9999. One of you will qualify and be one step closer to winning the EST Flyaway to Los Angeles. The keyword is hockey. Coming up in the second half of hour number 2, we've got weekly confessions for Spectrum Rental, and we got the Fan Zone for fansfirst.ca. We'll also revisit the news from earlier today and the fact that next Monday we'll be having the draft of scary things. We'll get to that coming up after 7:30 this morning as well. But one more time, your keyword is hockey. On the way next, weekly confessions. We'll get to those for Spectrum Rental, but let's get to a sports update for the great staff at Park Mazda with Lieutenant Eric right now.
Week 7 in the NFL wrapping up last night with a pair of games. Lamar Jackson tossing 5 touchdowns. Baltimore improving to 5-2. They defeat the Bucs 41-31 down in Tampa. The loss dropping the Buccaneers to 4-3. They also lost receivers Mike Evans to a hamstring injury and Chris Godwin to a busted ankle. Elsewhere, Chad Ryland with a 32-yard walk-off field goal, leading the Cardinals over the Chargers 17-15. Just the one game in the NHL last night, Toronto over Tampa 5-2. 16 games around the league tonight, one of which here in Edmonton between the Oilers and Hurricanes. Tom Gazzola will get you set. He'll have your GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, coverage beginning at 6 o'clock. Other action, we'll see the Jets looking to remain undefeated. They're in St. Louis to battle the Blues. Vancouver on the road in Chicago to take on the Canucks. The Flames are at home to Pittsburgh. Penguins in town Friday night, while the Golden Knights, they host the LA Kings. Regular season action in the NBA tipping off tonight with a pair of games. Boston are at home to the Knicks, while the Timberwolves are in LA to take on the Lakers. The Raptors season opener tips off tomorrow at home to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sports Update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, who has season tickets to the Lakers and the Clippers this season.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
know the devil may care if I showed you around my heart. Would you mind if I shared to show you what's wrong with me? I will not change it. I will wait patiently while you get painted out. Let me into your untainted tribe, to be the one who gets to live a lie. Oh, let me lie with you. I'll be a perfect stranger. I wanna be that stupid boy that you don't talk about. You better believe there's a sharp knife beside my bed. You better believe there's a sharp knife inside my head. And if you would leave, I would take you by the hand. You and I would leave, but it wouldn't be that bad. Let me in for more.
7:32 on the Nielson Show. If you are watching over on YouTube today, you can hammer the thumbs up for us. And sub to the channel if you haven't already. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at edmontonsportstalk.com, fingers crossed, hopefully the feed is working for you. I've exchanged emails and messages with our friend Daniel from our online radio provider, and waiting to hear back on trying to get a few of the hiccups on TuneIn
Daniel.
and iHeart. Sorry, Nathan.
Okay, I was like,
Nathan.
a third enters the chat.
No, there was Kasim yesterday, Nathan again today, and
The whole team on it.
Yeah, we'll try to get it. We'll try to get that sorted out, and eventually have that back working 100% operational. The Nielsen Show is presented to you by Southfort Chevrolet, where they have the employee pricing from now until the end of October. You can save up to $15,000 on select models. So this is a real good time to buy a vehicle, right? You don't want to head into the winter with a beater.
Nope.
It's time to upgrade. It's time to upgrade and get an excellent vehicle. And you can do that at Southfort Chev. Go see Daniel and his team out there. Drive a little, save a lot. www.southfortchev.com. Best of luck to everybody who got in the mix for the EST Flyaway to LA. YouTube Trev will pick a winner, and we'll give them a shout. Then we'll get into weekly confessions. We'll dive into the fan zone as well. And something we did announce earlier today on the show, big news. Next Monday from 9 to 11 on the Hangout, we will have the EST draft of scary things to kick off Halloween week. Here's what we've got for some categories so far. A scary character, couple of those. Scary movie, couple of those. Scary situations in sports, probably 3 of those. A scary animal. General things that scare you in life, as in heights and stuff. A scary object. A scary sound. A scary way to die. A scary social situation. What other category? This came together nicely.
It's very nice. It's a nice mix.
Yeah, what
again,
categories are we missing right
Scary Way to Die one will be interesting as well because it
Yeah.
eliminates the whole death option. I'm just wondering, too, the sports category, is that something that has happened or something fictional that say, hey, I hope this doesn't happen to me? That type,
I would think it's something that currently exists or
so
has existed in the
tale
past.
of horror, yeah.
Yeah. Like somebody said, the Edmonton Oilers are proud to hire Peter Chiarelli. Like, pretty scary situation there.
Ooh.
So there's a lot that we can get to, but what categories are we lacking? What else can we add? Right now, if we just did the math on this, it's not even including an open category. You're looking at 2, 4, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're already at 16 with no open.
Maybe we don't go open.
Maybe we don't need an open.
Maybe, exactly.
Maybe we don't
Let
need
the draft talk, hey?
Well, and Joelle says, and don't forget the commish choice. That's true. She randomly threw that out last time.
Oh, yeah.
Really threw a wrench into things. Remember that? The jewelry? Was it jewelry?
Yeah. That got your head spinning here.
Oh, yeah. That was... Hampton Steve said, guys, how about a scary song like Monster Mash or Thriller? Well, we got scary sounds in there. I think you could probably fit a song into there as well. All right. Who's qualifying for the EST Flyaway to Los Angeles? Who do we got?
Today we have Ben on the line.
Ben. All right. Ben, congratulations, man. You're one step closer to winning the trip down to Los Angeles with Edmonton Sports Talk. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Who would you bring with you, man?
I'll bring my one buddy for sure.
Just do you only have one buddy?
The one.
It's just good you're bringing one buddy. That's it.
Only one football fan. So
Have you been to LA before?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, this would be a first. December 26th to December 30th. Flights, accommodations, and more. It's going to be absolutely amazing trip, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, there we go. Congratulations to Ben. Ooh, I think it's Nathan.
Nathan on the line? Well, put him on. Let's all have a. Well, this is interesting. We interrupt this Nielson Show program for Nathan on the line, calling long distance as well as he's located down in Jolly, England. YouTube, Trev, this is quite something here happening during the show. Hopefully, this gets corrected.
It'll get resolved.
Well, I mean, it's about damn time, and we apologize to everybody as well. We said the tease is the toughest part. Will come in every morning. He's hardworking. Works for me, doesn't work for Trev, works for Dusty, doesn't work for him, then it works for... So it's kind of been bouncing around, and if you could just kind of isolate the issue and figure it out specifically, it'd be a lot easier. But yeah, this is the reality we're currently living in.
Yeah, it's very inconsistent, and we don't like that.
Brett B says, hello, Nathan, in the nasty chat. Matt Hyman says, speakerphone. I would agree. I think it would be only just to have him on and answer to you, the listener and the viewer, for all of their misdoings and misdeeds. So Nathan lives, not an AI that comes in from Rob. Yes, it's proven now. I guess it could still be an AI. I mean, we do have the means and the technology that Nathan's voice could be just computer generated, I guess, and kind of an algorithm speaking to Dustin. That would be quite the trip. More scenarios for that Halloween draft coming up. Once again, this coming Monday in the EST Hangout, 9 to 11. Scary end of the world scenario, meteor hits Earth, zombie apocalypse, etc.
Zombie apocalypse?
That's a good category, though. I think you could fill that one out. At least 4, right?
I think it would be more fun than scary.
Yes,
but you'd have a lot of fun.
Like if a meteor is coming down, like
that one would be scary.
It's a helpless situation.
2012?
Yeah.
Worst year of my life. I'm super... Well, I honestly thought the world was ending. And
the whole Aztec calendar
like I'd
thing,
probably put the calendar ending 2012. That would be high on my list.
You could have nuclear war in there too. I think
like
that's
several nights because I thought the world was going to end.
All right,
he has an accent.
Well, so it's confirmed.
Hello. But he has an accent.
You say,
and he said they think the issue is on their end, not with something we're doing.
Well, yeah.
So he said they're working on it. So really not much of an update. I don't know why the call could have been
long distance for that.
Could have been sent in an email. Like, I walk back in. And I hear Trev say, I thought the world was going to end. I was crying.
RSO Cody says, scary end of the world scenario for a draft.
Okay.
Meteor hitting the Earth, zombie. He was talking about the Aztec thing, nuclear war. Like, you could have a lot of end of the world scenarios. I guess
scary
kind of involves death.
End of the world.
We could come up with at least 4 of those, I think. Hey,
you could easily do 4 of those. Right? A zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
The
moon colliding with the Earth.
Oh, that almost happened in the movie
right? I don't know.
Time Machine.
Sure.
Yeah, they were trying to build colonies.
Well, we know where you're going.
In the underground in the moon, and it separated the moon. So,
were you guys even slightly worried in 2012?
I can't remember what happened in 2012.
That was the Mayan calendar was ending.
December 21st, 2012. The Aztecs, like the Mayan calendar, it just stopped for whatever reason.
So everybody thought
they didn't have it going
Don't you think
forward.
they just ran out of rock to
Paper,
chip into or whatever? Like,
no, I didn't think that.
You thought it was the end of it.
Yes, so did everyone. They made a movie about it. It was the worst thing ever.
Oh, 2012.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that was a bad movie.
Yeah, it was a very bad movie. It was terrifying.
Was that with John Cusack?
Yeah, and they get the big plane. All the rich people are on the plane. Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, not a good movie.
No.
all right.
Y2K was another one too.
Y2K was a
speaking of your
strange thing for me.
technological.
Y2K was an end of the world, but Y2K was the internet was going to completely collapse. It could have really
I
impacted
remember hearing
the world.
about that.
Yeah, you were a baby then.
Yeah,
you're a little baby at Y2K. TubeSuck says Trev's biggest fear should be choking to death on a donair
or a hair.
Oh God, gross. That's a good point. All right, if you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Let's get into confessions. Brought to you by Spectrum Rental. People are like, Trev could not have handled Y2K.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like you. The stressful times there, Y2K. Like you would not have liked that. All right, let's get into your confessions for Spectrum Rental today. You can text your confessions to 780-218-9999. Here's their liner today, brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confess to doing things like quietly farting in crowded elevators and then acting disgusted that somebody might do that. It's winter heat season. Get your temporary construction heat at Spectrum Rental.
That's a good tie-in there.
I love how they just, it's just like, boom, we're farting in an elevator and then go, it's winter heat season. The team at Spectrum Rental, man, they always deliver. Whatever you need for your upcoming fall/winter projects, Spectrum Rental can help you out. All right, what are we confessing today, boys? Your fantasy football confessions, obviously. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Fantasy football confessions is where you can get in. Life confessions, work confessions, relationship confessions, whatever you need to confess. 780-218-9999. Any of you, if you want to confess, you confess that you were also scared that the world was going to end in
it's a safe space,
2012.
right? Yeah, we're all...
I'm afraid, I think our world ends with the Yellowstone volcano erupting.
Yeah, that's actually a real good...
Yeah.
If Cool Bet gets the odds up, that's got to be...
I think that would be close to a favorite.
Because it's going to happen. And,
Well,
and
and
we're
what
way
is it-
past
what they
due.
say it happens-
We're way past
due.
Yeah. We're house money.
Well, that's the thing. It could go for another 100,000 years, or it could happen by the end of the show today.
Yeah.
And Nathan's going to be like, I didn't have to fix it.
Nathan rejoices.
Damn.
Job
Damn
done.
you, Nathan. All right. What do you have to confess, Rick?
Well, as you may have heard, I've kind of been a little under the weather for the past week and a half. But yard work never stops, so I had to go out in the weekend and do a little bit of light yard work. So was everybody else in the neighborhood. Like neighbors were all
busy time for that.
But I didn't talk to any of them because I was like, I'm feeling a little. I could have talked to them, but I said can't get close.
Yeah.
So I used it as a bit of an excuse. So I confess, I was good enough
like
to
that.
talk, but I didn't want to talk because I wasn't really in the mood.
Colin the Amishman is in and says, guys, confession, I'm 29 and I've only seen the original Star Wars movie, A New Hope. I didn't grow up in a sci-fi household, and my wife is into them, so I never got around to seeing the rest.
You stopped there?
Here's what you do, Colin. You have kids, and then you watch them all with your kids, and they'd be new for you, too.
Empire Strikes Back is the best anyways.
It's a very good movie, Empire Strikes Back.
Ties a lot of
We
things.
just recently watched all of them with the whole family, and it was nice. So, Colin the Irishman, you still have that for you.
Read the books.
Oh, good. I'm glad this is in. Thank you for the message. This is not a confession, but it's more of a like tattletale. Daniel from South Fort Chev is 0-7 in fantasy football.
That's an anonymous tip from
Man.
when we were there, he was what, 0-4?
He was
0-3?
0-4
Yeah.
when we were there. He's now 0-7.
Hits keep coming.
I am in 9 leagues this year. I have one team that's 1-6. I have 2 teams that are 6-1 and 2 teams that are 5-2. But an 0-7. Oh my goodness.
Playoffs are fading.
Daniel would have never confessed that to us himself.
Who would know?
So, Daniel, I don't want to say anything, but you've got a fantasy football mole.
Mole in the house.
We got a
Yeah.
mole in the house from a fantasy football perspective. Look, if you want to buy a vehicle from a guy that you are definitely better at in fantasy football, then go see Daniel and his team at South Fort Chev. That just works out. My confession is, and Trevor, if you have a confession, let us know. My confession is that even though I know he should probably be in G League right now, I do want to see Bronny get on the floor tonight so LeBron James can have that moment with his son.
It's tip-off.
And then you send Bronny down to the G League for a while.
Have the moment. And then let them have a dribble.
I want to see it.
You'll be with your son.
Oh, yeah.
Griffey's.
And my daughter, I'll both.
Yep.
They'll stay up late because it's probably a late start. Is it a late start? I think it's a late start.
Yeah, it's later.
It's in LA, so it'll be a
8
late
o'clock,
start. Yeah. So the kids can stay up with Daddy, and we'll watch Bronny be on the floor with LeBron James.
You'll never
Senior.
forget it. You'll never forget it.
Senior and junior
Yeah.
together again.
A man and his boy.
And just like that,
Having a dribble.
the cartoon back in the day with Donald Duck and the little guy. Marshall and I used to sing it together all the time. It was me and my junior. It was Donald Duck and a little Donald Duck. And I was like,
Huey, Dewey, or Louie?
Donald Duck talks. Can you do Donald Duck?
Yeah, but you can't. Then you got to.
I can't do the words.
Yeah,
You can-
that's the second part.
That was really impressive.
Donald Duck
You got
voice.
one?
No.
Donald Duck voice must be tough to do. Like doing the.
You get paid a lot.
You can do that, but
that
it's like to say the words.
Yeah,
It's that'd be tough. That'd be tough to do. That's my confession. I've never really been good at a Donald Duck.
it's almost like
impression.
I
ventriloquism.
think you're halfway there. You got the sound. You just got to say the sound. Okay, never mind.
I don't
Take
know.
it back.
Trev, do you have a confession at all this week?
Well, yeah, I guess I walked into this one. I was terrified of 2012. And my brother, he went in on the chat. He says, I can confirm Trev cried a lot. That did happen. I'm not making it up.
How old were you in 2012?
I was 14.
14?
Yeah. I'm not proud of it.
Wow.
I kid you not. That was one of the worst days of my life because
You thought that was the end of the world.
I was
that
going
day.
to grade 9. Well, I was in grade 9, and I just remember going to school like, this might be the last time I see my friends.
So when did the calendar end? Was it? It wasn't on December 31st.
It was 21.
No,
Wasn't it the
it was
solstice or
the
something?
21st. It was the 21st.
Of December
Yep.
is when it was all supposed to end.
Yeah, and I remember obviously because like Australia, all out east, like that's before us, right? So I remember when I get home, and I'm like, and it was it was a cloudy day, and it was a fall day, and it was cold, and it was windy, but it wasn't. It was calm. It was actually calm. And as I was walking home, there's this huge gust of wind that came out of nowhere. I'm like, this is the start of it. And I ran home.
I love you.
I ran home, man. And I was like, literally, I called my grandma. I'm like, it's happening. Like, there's so much wind. I'm freaking out right now. She's like, Trevor, you're fine. I'm like, just settle down. Everything will be okay. I'm like, you don't know that. And then I remember, I blacked out. I passed out. I was so scared. And then I woke up like 2 hours later, like just sweating under my duvet, just shaking. And then I went on my Facebook, and there was a meme, and it was like, this is just spotted in Australia. And it was like this most Photoshop photo I'd ever seen in my entire life. And I'm like, no, it's happening. And then I like sent it to all my friends. I'm like, this is legit. And then obviously, so that's my confession, I guess. But I'm good now. We're obviously good. Another confession, didn't have a donair last week, which was good.
Good for you.
Could have had one, though.
Oh, you should
have more than one.
have had at least one.
Cleanse
That's
the
my
system,
confessions.
though, a bit. Eh?
We're good now.
Man, I don't remember December 21st, 2012 being a day at all. Like, and you went through this tumultuous time.
It was terrifying.
I don't remember it being anything. Where would I have been? 2012, December would have been.
Well,
We didn't have kids yet. We would have been like probably back at my parents' place, and nothing would have been going on. I don't remember that.
Crazy.
Yeah. I love the fact that living in southern Alberta, it started to get a little windy, and you're like, it's the end of the world.
Yeah, well, it was so calm. I just remember this gust out of nowhere. It was out of nowhere. It was a calm day, and that just spooked me. It was the suddenness.
buddy.
The suddenness of the wind just freaked me out.
You're such a treat. God.
it was a Friday.
Was it a Friday?
It was a Friday.
Says it was a Friday.
All right. Well, that would have been your last day at school with your friends.
Thought it was a Wednesday. Interesting.
It's the trauma.
Wait a minute.
It
wasn't a Wednesday?
Yeah. Buddy, you are an absolute beauty. God. I love it.
Need a donair. Treat yourself today.
All right, let's try to recover. Timber Wisdom says, December 21st, I was celebrating my birthday. Gold Medal Mark says, guys, I love the show. End of the world story with YouTube Trevin, him doing his grandma's voice. Just gold. That's too good. Rip City Step says, guys, is this why the girl that you were living with, her and her husband, dumped you, Trev? Because you're in tears at 14 because the world was ending?
Crazier things have happened. People cry for weird things all the time. I was 14. I wasn't the only one, right? I was led astray. My stepdad was just totally gassing me up like...
Oh, did he?
Oh, he was like, oh, this might be the end.
Oh, he's feeding him.
Was he doing it on purpose, or did he also believe it?
No, he was totally doing it on purpose. Like, it was the worst thing ever.
That's, man, that's funny. I mean, we shouldn't laugh at your...
Oh, we can laugh now. Nothing happened.
World-ending fear. I don't think you could do Scary Draft, Trev.
Watching it will be
If for some reason somebody can't make it, Trev, you're not allowed in. You're not allowed in. Oh, my good. That's just too funny. All right, there you go. That's confessions for another week. So what we learned is I'm totally a fan of nepotism, and Bronny should get to play partially tonight for the first game, then send him down to the G League. We learned that Eric used a cold to not have to talk to his neighbors.
Yeah. And Trev survived.
We learned
the Mayan apocalypse.
Trev thought he was going to die at the end of the world in 2012. And then we also learned that Daniel from South Fort Chev is 0-7 in fantasy.
And that
and
his
probably
dad,
wishes the world ended in
as
2012.
How Much Man 19 says, preyed on this young man's delicate sensibilities. I mean, good on the dad. I like that play though. Just feeding that coal into the oven.
Martin with a classic text this morning. It makes sense that the guy who thought the world would end in 2012 would pick the Raiders to beat the Rams.
Adds up.
Still hasn't got over that one. Yeah, that's too funny. Jeez. All right. Good ones. I can't believe the guy that comes from one of the windiest places in the country thought a gust was the end of the world.
The suddenness of the gust. It was the suddenness. I actually got over the fear of wind. I had to because I had no choice growing up from Southern Alberta. But like storms was, actually, talking of fear, storm would be like number one on my list. You asked me when I was younger.
A storm,
absolutely. Like if it started raining, like I hate to admit it, but I was probably freaking out.
Like a small sprinkle?
Yeah. Like I'd cry.
You didn't like the storms.
No, and it was all
like the thunder and big storms in
from
Southern
the
Alberta.
tornado that it all came from that tornado.
The tornado I chased.
Yeah, you
for
chased
Country
it.
95.5.
Yeah, we were getting ready to play soccer. All of a sudden, everyone's crying. I start freaking out as well.
And then ever since then,
and I outgrew
storms.
that fear, obviously, because
I've
survived every single one. I'm just like, you know what? Maybe it's not that scary.
You know, that's your new thing. You two, Trev, survivor of every storm that's ever happened. This guy's a storm survivor. Have you got to the point where you would go full Lieutenant Dan and climb up to the top of a ship in a storm and say, "Come and get me"?
I'm probably about that now.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
But I remember, like, you know the thing under the stairs? Like, we always called it a bomb shelter in my family, just the bomb shelter. But if there was a storm, there was a good chance you could find me in the bomb shelter. Like, where's Trev? He's hiding under the bomb shelter again.
Oh, man. All right, there you go. There's confessions. What a nice twist for the show today. You're a beauty. I love it. I can't wait till you get to your new place you're moving into in like 10 days and you start digging a hole in the basement for shelter.
Changing 200.
All right, guys, I was hoping to wake up in the 6 o'clock hour to request a conch for our newborn daughter, the first child in the house. But as they say, when baby sleeps, we sleep. Welcome to a new AM Nasty member. We are catching up now on YouTube. That's amazing.
I think we can.
You know what?
Bend the rule a bit for this one.
An extra birth conch. Why not? I'm assuming that you named her Esty, and she's gonna be legendary.
Now get that donaire, hey?
Let's get that donaire. All right, let's say postpartum donaire. If you haven't had one yet, Trev will go for one with you. That'd be great. As long as it's not windy out or raining. All right, let's dive into the fan zone right now for Fans First. If you're looking for tickets for the game tonight, well, then look no further because we've got them at the best possible price you'll ever find. The Fan Zone. www.fansfirst.ca. Ha, 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 ha. By fans, for fans, no fees. Get your tickets all season, including this little 2-game homestand. Canes tonight, Penguins on Friday. Get your tickets in the Fan Zone at fansfirst.ca. The question earlier today that we were discussing that we'll circle back around to right now, I wrote it down last night. Is Knobloch messing with the lines too much? And it's always an interesting question to ask in a hockey mad market because when the team is struggling, many of us, both media and fans, I'm not dividing a line here, but many of us, media and fans, are like, well, maybe you got to mix it up a bit. Maybe you got to switch it up. Maybe this isn't going to work. Now, at the beginning of the season, on a lot of our shows, we were talking about, give the line combination. You only have 12 forwards. It's not like you're taking somebody out of the lineup and inserting them. You got the same 12 dudes that you got to find a way to make it work every single night. But it's at the beginning of the year, we're talking about, give Draisaitl, Skinner, and Arvidsson, 5 to 10 games to get going. They got 2 periods. They go to McDavid and Draisaitl to get them going. They don't technically get going. And now they split them up again. So is Knobloch being too loosey-goosey with the line combinations early in the season? And is this just something that once you get into that Oilers coach's room, it's just like this disease that you catch because all the coaches do it? And I don't know if it's like, I got to start following other markets.
wouldn't.
Well, oh my God. we got to start following other markets to see if other teams change their line combinations essentially every single game, because I feel like it happens here in Edmonton all the time, but I'm not watching Vancouver or Winnipeg. I know it's not happening in Winnipeg, I don't think. I mean, they're off to a great start.
Half the other markets in the league probably don't care.
Well, I mean,
so under a
nobody's
microscope
having this
here, I mean,
conversation in Anaheim right now.
No.
We'll say that. But is he too loosey-goosey with the lines early in the season? What say you? 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Or if you're watching over on YouTube today in the nasty chat, hammer the thumbs up for us. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. And let us know. Burglar is in. It says, Oiler, and remember, tag your texts and your chats with Fan Zone. Fan Zone. Oilers fan. Give them 10 games to figure it out. We're actually going to be patient this time. Knobloch, 6 games in, he set the line, switched them 3 times, and now he's putting them back together. Already kind of circled around. Rip City Step says, in Knob, we trust. Fan Zone.
We talked about last year, Knob adjustments, right? I mean, these are some big adjustments early on, but Rip City Steps all in.
All in. I just got a text from my kid's school saying that Marshall has a planned absence today. I didn't know he wasn't going to school today.
Oh, cutting class, eh?
What's going on with this guy? What's going on? Did they get the wrong kid?
Heading to the arcade.
He's not at home, so I'm assuming he's probably at school.
X-Ray J says, problem is listening to the Nielson Show on EST every Monday. Now he's trying to one-up Dusty. And maybe that's, is that on the Knobloch line adjustments? Maybe he's just trying to outfox you. Maybe that's what X-Ray J's coming at here.
Yeah, that's maybe that's it. Mixing it up a little bit.
Marshall pre-gaming for Brony debut, Big Maple says.
I mean, maybe. Why is he not at school today?
Kind of like that.
Like, did Marshall book himself out of school today?
All day, yeah. Yeah, they have a lot of freedom these days, eh?
Yeah. I guess Marshall just called to school and was like, hey, school? Yeah, I'm not in today. Bronny plays tonight.
Click.
Daddy said I can stay home. Lucky duck.
Bones says Knobloch is trying too hard. The players get nervous when the coach is showing panic. Fan zone.
Fan zone.
RCN. This is Dustin Nielsen, the father. Marshall calling into the school. I'm going to need to excuse Marshall from all of his classes. And one of those little refrigerators you have to open with a key. That's a hell of a text. Hell of a poll.
That could be text of the day today. Tadell is in. It says, guys, did Marshall have swimming training today? But for all I know, he's in the pool somewhere.
Do we have an update on that? Like, when is he in
the Barracuda?
Yeah.
The Barracuda strikes again. Oh, man. RCA, that's good. This is do the voice again.
This is Dustin Nielsen, the father.
Yes, Mr. Nielsen. What can we do for you today?
I'd like you to excuse Marshall from class today. Absence slip? You got it.
Oh, what a day.
Impressive.
That's got to be text of the day
What
right
a day.
now. Unless you can top that one.
Rivers says, does Marshall think it's the end of the world?
No.
He heard Trev talk about it. He's like, I can't go to school today.
Never know.
This guy's nuts. Oh God, so many good texts. All right, couple more on the fan zone here. The call in the hour, the fan zone. The only common denominator has been Gulletson. Clearly, he's telling every single head coach to mix the lines up. Also, I don't think it's been too much, but I think they need to keep it the same for a little while now. Like, you've already kind of went through the cycle. Well, now maybe you lock it in.
Library Pat says, still a small sample size. Patience. There's been progress. Special teams will sort themselves out. The fan zone.
Oh, that's fine, but we say patience, and they're Skinner's back with Draisaitl.
I think he means patience with the switching.
Maybe
If that's what he's getting at there, but
oh man,
I don't know. It's
between RCN's text and your voice for it, it's just
you got it. And one of those little refrigerators you have to open with a key.
I think it's too. God, too good, man. Strummy's claiming that Marshall's the saboteur. He's off school today to go and damage the internet line again, so he can accuse 1440 of hacking into the system like he did last time.
You were on the phone with Nathan. Now he's phoning Nathan.
Maybe that's what it
back
is.
Channel communique.
All right, that voice kills me. God, it's too funny.
It's a great scene.
It is a good scene. Robson, Marshall Bueller's day off.
Yeah.
That's
He's
kind
got the Lakers jersey on.
Yeah.
Al of the Red Wings. Yeah.
He's going with his friend to steal a car today. All right. We need somebody to play kind of easy. That's a fan zone for fans first. If you want the best deal on tickets, we're not lying to you. If you want the best price and the best deal on tickets for the Oilers game tonight, fans first.
Check him out.
Fansfirst.ca. All right. We need somebody to play kind of easy trivia right now for Mr. Mike's. Do the voice again.
You got it.
We need to get a talk boy, eh?
Oh,
so you
God.
can actually do it, right? Like,
God, that's too good. Jeez Louise. All right. We need somebody to play kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. If you'd like to win a Mr. Mike's gift certificate, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Let YouTube Trev know that you would like to play kind of easy trivia today for Mr. Mike's. We need to get 3 out of 5 correct. That's it. You can choose short ticker, long ticker, whatever you want. I got to get to the bottom of this Marshall absence. I texted my wife and she didn't even get back to me.
oh boy.
Uh-oh. And now Gager says, just found this in Marshall's room. And it's a talk boy. It's a talk boy.
On cue.
Oh, I think I got an update from my wife.
I like this live on air. This is outstanding stuff.
Tammy thinks he might be getting a migraine.
Oh, jeez.
She loves having the kids at home, though.
A migraine to pregame for the Braun game.
Brawny game.
Yeah.
That might make sense.
He's
All right,
a smart
Marsh.
guy.
Marsh, if you're listening, buddy, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show today,
Yeah,
my man.
hopefully that migraine goes
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. Hey, Marsh. Good job on the migraine. All right, 780-218.
Smart kid.
99.99 if you'd like to play kind of easy trivia. Let's get to a sports update right now for Claiborne Services. The man, the myth, the legend, Lieutenant Eric. If you're looking for work, Claiborne, hiring right now.
Lamar Jackson threw.
Ravens 5-2 now as they defeat the Buccaneers 41-31 down in Tampa. The loss dropping the Bucs to 4-3. They also lost receivers Mike Evans and Chris Godwin to injury. The other game last night saw the Cardinals walk it off against the Chargers 17-15. Oilers back home to kick off a 2-game homestand tonight when they host the Carolina Hurricanes. Tom Gazzola will have your GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows. Coverage beginning at 6 here on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's one of 16 games around the NHL tonight. Other action will see the Flames host the Penguins. Penguins are in town on Friday. Golden Knights at home to the Kings. Canucks in Chicago. And the Jets look to remain undefeated. They're in St. Louis to battle the Blues. Last night, just the one game saw the Leafs skate over the Lightning 5-2. And in the NBA, regular season action tips off tonight. 2 games on the schedule. Celtics host the Knicks. The Timberwolves are in LA to battle the Lakers. The Raptors will tip off their season tomorrow at home to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind knowing they are an industry leader in safety. For more, you can check out www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy and call Jeff, 780-910-6728.
Okay.
Drop the puck. Let's go, Oilers, let's go. Let's go, Oilers, go. I hear the Oilers coming, boarding on the plane. Off to the United States to play Canada's favorite game. A chance to win the glory, a chance to win the cup. Let's go, Oilers, let's go. Let's go, Oilers, go. Bring it back to our World Saint City, the city of champions. Since I was just a baby, grew up an Oilers fan. Remember Gretzky in the 80s, seeing 4 rings on just one hand, chasing through the 90s and into the millennium. Let's go, Oilers, let's go. Let's go, Oilers, go. Watch us shooting past kicks and Florida. I said, put those Panthers down. Let's go, Oilers, let's go. Let's go, Oilers, go. tried but failed. We got Skinner rock solid between the pipes and McDavid our holy grail. Ekholm on the back end, and don't forget the Bouchard ball. Sweeping rats off the ice in Edmonton and bring us Lord Stanley's Cup. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I hear the Oilers coming, boarding on a plane off to the U.S. of A to play Canada's favorite game. A chance to win the glory, a chance to win the cup. Bring it back to our state city, not city of champions.
8:07 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here this morning. Nielson Show presented to you by Southfort Chevrolet, where Daniel, the general manager out there, is 0-7 to start his fantasy football
Thanks to
season.
the anonymous tip.
Here's the thing. He doesn't have time to focus on his lineup because he's spending so much time coming up with sweet deals for you.
Focusing on you.
At www.southfortchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot. Employee pricing on now until the end of October. Surprised your loved one with a new pickup truck. They're going to love it. Tell them we sent you. They'll get you $1,000 extra credit on your trade-in. Coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio this morning. We got the hangout coming up at 9 o'clock. That'll be your next chance to qualify for the EST Flyaway to Los Angeles. Jam-packed coverage here all day long on TuneIn, on iHeart, and at edmontonsportsuck.com, and, of course, on YouTube. Hangout till 11. Lock shop from 11 to 12. The two guys in goalie today from 12 until 1. EST afternoons from 1 until 3. And then from 3 until 6 tonight, the Reed Wilkins Show. And then into the GCL Diesel pregame show right following that from 6 to 7. So
crossover
happy to
action
provide
there
you
too,
with
hey?
the most local sports content in the market. And thank you very much for being here. Tell your friends about Edmonton Sports Talk. All right, Trev is on the phone.
You got somebody hilarious.
Somebody's
there, eh?
mocking
He's
him, I
laughing,
think,
eh?
for thinking the world was going to end in 2012. Kind of easy trivia coming up. 3 questions too many as well. That hurts for James H. Brown. Gager's going to be by just after 8:30 today, and GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast. If you have any ideas for that hurts today, what hurt you? Let us know. 780-218-9999. Kay O'Neill says, guys, it's Tales of the North no longer a thing. Actually, no, Tales of the North happens every single game day right here at 6:30. If you're watching on YouTube, man, it's very easy. You can just scroll on back. Just scroll on back to 6:30. You can get your Tales of the North and come back to the show live. So, yes, you can still find your Tales of the North full costume. Just scroll back on YouTube at 6:30. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart, you can get it on the podcast a little bit later on.
Featuring Trip Tracy this morning as well.
Big Trip Tracy reference there. And Rod the Bod.
Yes.
Gotta love Rod the Bod.
And Bob.
All right, who is going to play kind of easy trivia today? Who do we got, buddy?
This is awesome. Just when you think it can't get any better, today we have Atif.
Oh, my God.
He's not even a nasty member.
Oh, my God. All right, kind of easy trivia. We're going short ticker. Atif, we're going short ticker.
Bring it on.
Oh, bring it on, he says. Kind of easy trivia is for Mr. Mike's. Let the festivities begin. You're invited to Mr. Mike's Fiesta Fusion. Celebrate the flavors of their new Mexican and Spanish-inspired features like Patatas Bravas, the Fusion Feast Platter, Chili Lime Ribeye, feature drinks, and more. Plus $1 from every feature sold will go to help nourish a hungry child through a local breakfast program in the community. Join the Fiesta Fusion at your local Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casually. Atif, I'll start the ticker after I read the first question, okay?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. What position does Derrick Henry play?
Quarterback, I think.
Which city is home to the NFL's Ravens?
That would be LA.
You're throwing it.
Baltimore.
Who do the Oilers play tonight?
They play the Carolina
Name one player on the
Hurricanes.
Hurricanes.
What's that?
Name one.
God. Get him out of here.
I blew it.
Yeah, you blew it.
yeah.
You blew it.
Here's Jackson. You are for real.
Oh, look at LeBron! Not with the right. He throws it down with the left hand.
Come on, Atif. Trev's consoling him over here now.
Consoling what? You accused him of throwing it, then he answered the right answer. Yeah, so he was.
But, well,
no, but you know what I'm saying?
But then he also blew it at the end.
Quarterback. What? Derrick Henry. Give me a break.
Was he throwing it or was he not throwing it?
You accused him of throwing it, then he gave you the right answer. He was totally throwing it.
But then he also, the Hurricanes, when he goes, what was that?
It was, I don't know.
Trev, you talked to him after.
Yeah, you consoled
What was
him.
he?
He's like, oh, I suck. Like, he was mad. He was mad. I don't think he was blowing it. He just said the pressure got to him, I think. But he's like, oh, that sucked.
Well, what position does Derrick Henry play? He goes, quarterback, I think.
The confidence there was staggering.
That one, I think he could have just blown. Not sure he technically pays attention to a lot of the stuff. And then Wood City's home to the Ravens. He said when he said LA, I was like, okay, you're throwing it. But then who do those play like Hurricanes? Name one player of the Hurricanes. He goes, what's that? Excuse me?
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, I didn't hear the last one.
That wasn't the last one. There was a fifth one that he didn't even get to.
Yeah.
Man.
It's okay.
Hertzie said it was a sabotage job.
Is that what we're feeling today?
I don't know.
I can't tell if that was sabotage or not.
He's been hating all the hate that he's been getting for not being a Nasty member. I'm sure he'd like to come on here and take that GC. Don't kid yourself. Wheels would have loved a meal from Mr. Mice.
He would have, yeah.
So I'm more than Roseanne. Man, is he going to get ripped Thursday?
Oh, yeah. At Century?
No holds barred. You think you've had it tough thus far, Atif. God.
It's on now. All right, let's get into 3 questions too many today. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment?
3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he thinks Atif sucks. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. Hey, you set yourself up, man. This is the first question answer where he laughed. Derrick Henry has been having a season.
He's on pace to set the all-time rushing record.
And you giggle and say quarterback, I think? Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
Where Mitch also thinks Atif sucks.
One of us, right?
Do you have a Twitter account?
At Lieutenant_Eric, where today we located, and I showed you there was a signed card of Noodles playing for the Salt Lake Golden Eagles.
Somebody has an autographed Salt Lake Golden Eagles card of Noodles?
But
Legendary.
Tweeted that out earlier today, and I think Tube Socks has the back of the card as well. And you tweeted out last night, but Savage tweeted out and replied to Jason Milne about his parlay, $3,500, 13-game parlay, courtesy Coolbet. So you can see Savage's excitement watching that walk-off kick. The Cardinals walk it off, and that's what clinches the 13-game parlay. But great video there, great emotion, Coolbet hoodie on and everything. Savage, good to have you back in the country, and a big winner. Pretty much takes care of the trip almost.
Yeah.
Goes on a trip to Bali, comes back and wins $3,500.
Yeah, actually.
Gotta love it, eh?
We probably covered a lot of that. The Morgan Chase over on Nancy Chat says Atif's taking the heat off Marshall this morning.
That's what it was.
That's what it is. Turn the spotlight. So I got an update.
All the arrows are coming in.
I chatted with. I called my wife when we were in that update break, and Marshall's having like little, like when your vision gets a little messed up, and then you have a headache after. Tam had that growing up as a kid, so she's afraid he's going to get a migraine today. So she, no, I don't know if he's really got many migraines. I don't think he has. I hope he doesn't. That would suck. But his vision was going a little wonky today, so she just decided to keep him at home just in case he gets a headache. He'll probably end up playing Avengers Lego video game all day.
Well, that'll get
brilliant move.
Senses going,
Brilliant move, buddy. I'm so proud of you. God, that'll help your eyes.
Who's to say that's bad for it? It gets you kind of. It's like an exercise for you.
Probably take your mind off what's going on.
Exactly.
Marshall, Daddy's going to say right now, whether you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or EdmontonSportsTalk.com or watching on YouTube, first of all, smash the thumbs up for us, buddy. Second of all, if you want to play video games this morning, I'm saying you can play video games this morning. But not for too long. Just for a little bit.
Box Pounder in the Nasty Chat. Don't accuse Atif of throwing it. He won't stand for that.
Classic Atif joke. God, even Atif's like, that one's good. That one's good. All right, here we go. Question number 1. Dusty, I saw your tweet about what we were watching last night, and it got me thinking, do you guys think Amazon is good for the National Hockey League? So last night, just quickly on the tweet, let me do the tweet reset. I asked people last night, what were you watching from a sports perspective? Sorry, wrestling fans, I didn't put wrestling as an option. I know many of you are watching wrestlings. I said there's only one NHL game last night. So you couldn't go to Sportsnet last night and get an NHL game. You could only watch the one NHL game. It was on Amazon Prime, or you could watch, the two NFL games that were going on. And 77% of the vote was watching the NFL action. 23% said they were still watching the hockey game. So that's where I guess this question comes from. Is it good for the NHL to be on Amazon Prime? Rick, what do you think?
And again, I mean, safe to say the Cardinals-Chargers had something to do with that high number, probably, hey? And given the fact that the Leafs and, again, you're asking a question to a specific kind of fan base or group of people, but I think we've talked about this, and I think it's been brought up on every single show here on EST. That's the way it's all going to go anyways. So you're getting into the market before it happens. I mean, get on these streaming platforms. It's all going to be streaming eventually, right? All sports are all going to be on there. We're doing that as well with our brand of sports talk and what we do. So the NHL gets a lot of abuse for kind of being and living in the past and doing things old-timey ways. And this is, the WWE was on last night too at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. You can join me Thursday night again for Week 8 in the NFL. But that's going to be going to Netflix. That's a huge deal. Huge deal. WWE going to Netflix. Yeah. So everybody's doing it. It's going to become more popular. It's going to become more normal. We as humans will adapt, as we always do. It may seem clunky and at first, but we'll get used to it, and eventually it's all going to be on there. Get used to your teams covering your teams covering that team and watching your team from its own broadcast shell, I guess you could say. So this is just the NHL taking a step into the future.
Follow-up question. This was not a question. I'm following it up. Do you think it would be good for the CFL to be on a streaming service?
And that's a good one, because now you've got, say, the Big Four, right? The Big Four sports leagues. Everybody, there's popularity there and everything, but CFL, and somebody complained this morning, I think, in the Paris Drewley's inbox of CFL being too hard to watch sometimes if you don't have the TSN package.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but they put it on CFL on CTV this year, and the numbers haven't been good though. So,
okay.
So people watch the CFL on TSN.
I'm a soccer fan, as you know. Soccer has been taken off all the main. You can't watch it anywhere on cable. Nothing.
Yeah.
You have to pay money. I have to literally go and dig and do the utmost work to get my soccer fix. So if the popularity is there, people will go long distances for it. The CFL, I think of the CFL's case, I hope, and no offense to you, but it gets a little more competitive in terms of, national broadcasters, at least. But I think putting it behind some sort of weird wall where people have to do 2 or 3 steps to get it.
I don't think that would be good for the league. I don't think the CFL is big enough for people to follow it, especially with an older fan base, for people to follow it to a streamer.
But then another argument would be if you want to get younger people onto
fair
it,
enough. But I think you get lost in the shuffle for a bit.
Yeah.
You got to be very careful with that timing.
Yeah, for the Big Four, it's all going to happen. But for those other sports and other leagues and other...
Yeah, it's an interesting like
even
question.
the WHL, for example. I love listening to dub games on the radio. You can go up and down the AM dial, maybe get 5 games a night. Now you have to go search them out specifically. And
good question. What do you think, people? Is being on Amazon good for the National Hockey League? 780-218-9999. Question number 2. Following Week 7, guys, who is your pick to win the Super Bowl right now?
It can't be Baltimore. They're going to have a great regular season, but again, it's the
think
playoff
it is
thing.
Baltimore
I
now.
know. Well, the Henry thing kind of puts them over the
Derrick Henry changes.
I know
everything.
But aside from the Lions, I guess, yeah.
I think the Lions are a legitimate pick right now. As a Lions fan, I am worried about the Baltimore Ravens. I know you'd have to be in the Super Bowl for it to happen. But the ball, Lamar threw for 5. Actually, there was a good stat I saw pop up last night. Let me. You
got to love your life in the NFC, though, at least, as a Lions fan.
Well,
right?
except the most
Vikings,
difficult division we've seen in the last decade.
Sure.
Let's see here. This was a good stat on Lamar last night. Here we are. Most games ever with at least 5 touchdown passes and 5 or fewer incompletions. Ben Roethlisberger 3. Peyton Manning, 3. Drew Brees, 3. Tom Brady 3. Lamar Jackson now has 4.
That's a Rushmore
this
there.
This is the type, but now he's got the running back who is an absolute cheat code. Like, I think the Ravens, Lamar, first of all, has to be, well, we'll get into some of the new futures. I'm sure they've been updated on Coolbet. We'll get into it on Lock Shop today. Lamar has to be the favorite for MVP right now. If he's not, you got to bet him immediately because that number's changing. Should have bet him a couple of weeks ago. We talked about that in the Lock Shop. But the Ravens, I know the Chiefs are 6-0. But the Ravens just look like a better football team right now. They just do. They've won 5 in a row.
They started the season 0-2. In the playoffs, though. Now
no, I understand.
And again, we're going off what we know, but yeah, you're right. The running back.
Look at the running backs they've had going into the playoffs before, and now they've got Derrick Henry,
who's sleek and trim and old and doesn't celebrate touchdowns.
And he's on pace for over 2,100 yards.
150 is just a no-brainer.
It was a nothing night.
Nothing.
And he had a touchdown again. He's got 9 touchdowns through 7 weeks.
Penner's Pancake says the fix is in Chiefs 3-peat.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
The 3-peat and the undefeated season. Yeah. Got to happen.
Okay, let's get to this one for question number 3. It's a little bit different. It's more of a longer form question, but I think it's an interesting discussion as well. This came in from the Saskatoon Muncher. Nom, 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 nom.
We haven't done that for a while.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I guess because the whole thing is data munching now. Right? We used to say, you're listening to Edmonton Sports Talk online. Nom, 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 nom. We can't do it all the time. Anyway, Saskatoon Munchers, and it says, Dusty, seeing as you're a broadcaster for the CFL, thought you might have an opinion on this. What do you think about Tom Brady becoming a minority owner of the Raiders and the restrictions that come along with it, not being able to go to other teams' practice facilities, can't criticize officials, etc.? Is this going to be a problem and hinder his development as he learns the ropes of being a broadcaster? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, what was he calling Steve Spagnuolo the bane of his existence as he was commentating on the Chiefs, who are also in the Raiders division, right?
It's... It probably shouldn't be the case that an owner of one of the NFL teams is going to be pushed as the number one color man in the industry for the next 10 years.
Happened in the CF.
Oh.
Just
I can't
spare a
imagine.
thought for that.
Suits buys 15% of the BC Lions
the
from Amar
Scooters, and he's part of the
and he's doing color still.
Oh, we would hear.
Tell me how that would go over.
We would.
How would that go over in the Canadian Football League?
You'd never hear the end of it.
It's allowed to happen in the NFL because it's Tom Brady. That's what's happening.
Have you seen the Brady Davis kind of mock-up with the haircut?
Yeah, with the hair. It's hilarious.
It's too good.
I don't like it. I think pick one. Do you want to be an owner of a club in the league, or do you want to be a broadcaster? I don't think you should be able to have it both ways when it comes to that. I mean, first of all, you're not going to be able to have the access that will help you as you prep for broadcasts. And as broadcasters, I don't know how it works in the National Football League, but I think part of it would be similar. We have off-the-record conversations with both coaching staffs, 2 or 3 players from every team every week, where we tell them, it's off the record. We just want to chat about a few things. If you're not allowed to be a part of that, and I think he's going to be restricted on that stuff, that's valuable. That's valuable broadcast information. It is. It's good conversations. You take some of it and you work it into the broadcast. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think they will allow it if there's anybody but Tom Brady. And I don't know if you should be making an exception for Tom Brady, who I get it. And look, he's gotten better since week 1 to week 6 now.
Yeah.
Week 7. But it just, pick one, man. Pick one. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pick one.
Actually,
you are right. If this happened in the Canadian Football League, people would be like,
"Oh God, we would
like
the Bush League would be tossed around like a volleyball. I mean, we'd be setting, bumping, and spiking all over the place."
It's true. If people would be waiting, just sitting there, waiting to feast on the Canadian Football League.
Pick neither. I want him gone. I want him wiped from broadcasting and ownership. But I do like the Davis haircut.
Yeah, those are. I mean, all these great gifts.
Hilarious.
Jake says, wait until Dusty is praising LeBron when he's an owner and broadcaster in the next 5 years. Well, the problem is, Jake, is what you're seeing here is that 5 years from now, LeBron will be in year 27, and he'll be one of the top 10 players in the league still, and people will still be like, no, I don't think he's the GOAT 27 years in. He will be an owner. And, I will say at the time, I could see them having him as a panelist maybe. He's not going to be in the booth. That's not going to happen. And I wouldn't like that either. I don't think that's the way it should be.
No, it's a conflict. It's terrible. Poor Brady getting a truckload of money and doesn't have to do most of the work comes in from Scalding Gourd.
Well,
Poor Brady indeed.
Yeah. Can this guy ever catch a break?
I really hope Mahomes, like if they go undefeated in the 3-peat just to kind of trump what he couldn't do there.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm pulling for this Chiefs screw job.
You know what? Chiefs are getting on my nerves too, though. Just like the Patriots did back in the day. Like, guess what? The Chiefs' offensive line, they hold sometimes too. You can call it.
Oh.
You can call it. They don't, but you could call it.
You can call holding every play if you want.
Remember the beginning of the year where they kept calling the offensive lineman for not lining up properly? Is that still getting called?
Yeah. It's all objective.
Anyway, let's get into that hurts. Let's get into that hurts right now for James H. Brown.
Wheels is back. Speaking of that hurts, I hope you guys forgive me for letting you down. I will rebound.
Yeah,
I'm very convincing.
I'm not thinking you will. Like that's what concerns me, Wheels. I'm a little bit worried about it. That hurts. Brought to you by the heavy hitters of injury law at James H. Brown. If you've been injured in an accident, you go to jameshbrown.com, and this just in, they'll look after you. This was so the Business Leader Awards. This is where we want to get to around EST. Trent from James H. Brown just won a Business Leader Award.
Like just now?
I think recently. Okay. How do we qualify for this stuff? You know?
What's the
that's what I want to know. Trent, let me know how we nominate Matthew Iwanek for
like a cover letter,
top COO in the business. How do we get on the cover of Edmonton Business Magazine? Right, that's
doing the back
all of
to
us
back.
doing this in like suits, but are also wearing sweats.
Yeah,
like a suit jacket up top, but it's a party down below.
A hats on backwards type Tony vibes.
That's what we want. So I don't know. I don't know if like a guy who's recently won a Business Leader Award can nominate other people to get Business Leader Awards. But YouTube Trev has survived every storm he's ever been in.
He's gone through
in
it
his
all.
entire life. Like if that guy can't win a business award, who can? Here's what hurts. We've been talking about this scary things draft that we're going to be doing next Monday. But I'd just like to take a moment to get serious for a second with that hurts and say, things that legitimately scare you, it really hurts. Like it sucks. Like when I have a beverage or two or I'm hungover, I get very claustrophobic.
Oh.
And full-blown almost panic attack. I don't know if I've ever had a panic attack, but I think I've been on the edge of panic attacks.
The water massage, for example.
You were there with me?
Yeah, you were sweating.
The water massage
you were
in Vegas.
Not in a good spot.
I was completely hungover.
Yeah.
And they locked me in that thing. And I remember looking at Rick and I was just like, I think I've had enough.
Should have got the
I
IV.
think you got to get me out of here.
Yeah.
It's not good. Like when you can't control your fear of something, that hurts, man.
Well, it gets the adrenaline coursing and you get a little
Is that
tense.
what it is?
Well,
Is that
no,
why?
but your muscles tense. Like you get painful. Like it physically hurts.
Like the one time on a plane this year, and I know usually I get emotional on planes watching movies and stuff. I'll start crying but it's because of the elevation. But I had a few drinks after a CFL game, and I was flying home the next morning, and I was just in a regular seat. I wasn't like up front or with any extended leg room, or I usually try to get emergency row or
one of those Nexus seats.
Yeah. So I was in a regular seat. And I was on the inside. It was a smaller plane, like one of the ones you take from Calgary to Edmonton. And I was just sitting on the inside, but like with 6'5" with my legs, it kind of get jammed in there. And I couldn't necessarily stretch them out. And I started being like, I was almost to the point where I was going to stand up and be like, I got to get off this plane right now while we're continuing to board.
The paper bag.
Like, and Trev's laughing at me. And this guy thought the world was going to end in 2012.
We can laugh now.
At me, but no, but like that type of stuff. Like, I can't imagine people who have significant fears of like everything.
Well, this text, unsigned MRI machines. You ever had an MRI?
I don't think I could do it.
That's because you got to stay absolutely still. You can't move.
I couldn't do it.
And the pressure's on. Like you kind of.
No, it doesn't come down on you, does it? Like, don't you slide into one of those?
You slide in, but it's
and
kind of.
Are your legs still out? And if I wanted, could I move my legs? I think a lot of it for me is moving your legs.
You got to be still.
Can I move my feet from the ankles down?
You got an itch, you're done. No, you can't.
I mean, I'm just going to need one of those stand-up MRI machines that are a whole room or something.
the scan.
Yeah, I don't think I could go in one of those, man. Especially if I was drinking or hungover. I don't think I could do it. Trev?
They're very spooky.
Yeah. Have you been in an MRI machine?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And they're loud, man. They're loud.
Really?
And you're just like,
Yeah,
it's just
Tammy
you
had an MRI like 3 months ago.
thoughts. And you're
It's like
just
Space
freaking
Odyssey or
out.
something.
Yeah,
Exactly. Martin chimes in. Tommy on the cover of Business Leader magazine in his short shorts with the title "Edmonton is nuts over Edmonton sports talk."
I like that idea.
Real good.
I like that idea.
Had to get that up there. But
Kyle Dean Balmer says, I fell asleep in the MRI.
Scalding Gord says, "I go for one today. Don't freak me out."
Oh, sorry. Bad day to be listening to Edmonton sports talk.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that like real, actual fears, that hurt. That hurts.
Physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, the whole bit.
Yeah.
It does hurt because there's nothing you can do. And like, I know we're joking about it now and it's all fun. And it is funny kind of
After
looking
the fact.
back.
Yeah.
But I remember just being petrified and like my parents just be like, it's fine. And you're just like no. And then
Not to
I
me,
get into
yeah.
panic attacks and then you just freak out. And it's like, it's just in your DNA. You don't know, you can't really get over it. Obviously I did with storms, which is great.
Yeah.
But it's like a serious fear and like a phobia. And you're just like, and it does hurt because everyone's kind of laughing and they're like, they kind of put it on the back burner. Like, you're fine. You're fine. It's all good. But you're like, I'm not fine, So this is a good that hurts.
One time, I guess we got Gager coming on. We should probably get moving here.
Well, ask him what his fear is.
One time we were in Vegas and I was with Saker and we had to go pick up his nephew. And he had all of his goalie equipment. He'd been playing goalie down in Vegas. And the three of us, I think it was me, my buddies Beecroft and Maddie, and we were jammed in the back of this smaller vehicle. And they put all the goalie pads in on us. And I was sitting in the middle, and I was completely jammed up. Yeah. And as we were driving, I was like in a full-blown panic.
And the smell,
I had
too,
like these
bet,
goalie pads on me, and I couldn't move my knees. And I told them, I said, pull over. And they pulled over, and I pretended I was going to get sick, but I got out so I could like get some breath. And then I was like, hey, I'm sitting on the window, and I unrolled the window, and then it was fine. But I was just like, it hurts.
I'm getting
scary.
short of breath listening to this, to be honest. It's kind of, you're painting a good picture.
Yeah. So I like wide open spaces, just like the Dixie Chicks. All right. On the way next, Gager's going to, I don't know why I mixed in a Dixie Chicks reference, but that was a classic song.
Dive into it a little more.
Yeah. Anyway, if you like a nice, wide open place to sit or sleep, sit and sleep. Got you covered. Right? No traps there. Just great deals at Sit and Sleep. Eric's got more on that. Gager coming up in like 3 minutes. Orange and blue breakfast to get you set for the Oilers and the Canes tonight. We'll take a look at those line combinations once again. Hang out in about 26 minutes right here and only here on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Week 7 in the NFL wrapping up last night with a pair of games. It was the Cardinals over the Chargers 17-15, while Lamar Jackson tossing 5 touchdowns. Ravens now 5-2 following a 41-31 win in Tampa. Buccaneers losing the game, and also receivers Mike Evans and Chris Godwin due to injury. Leafs over the Lightning 5-2 last night. 16 games around the National Hockey League this evening, one of which here in Edmonton as the Oilers look to get back in the win column. They open a 2-game homestand against the Carolina Hurricanes. Tom Gazzola has you set with the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows tonight. Coverage begins at 6 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Other action will see the Golden Knights at home to the Kings. Flames host the Penguins. Canucks visit the Hawks, while the Jets look to remain undefeated there in St. Louis to take on Broberg and the Blues. Regular season action in the NBA tipping off tonight. 2 games on the schedule. Boston at home to the Knicks, while the Timberwolves visit the Lakers. Raptors open their season tomorrow at home to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payment for 18 months interest-free and be entered to win your purchase up to $5,000 on furniture and home decor. Next to Planet Fitness, South Edmonton Common.
Browner? Do you want to score a goal, man? Come on, let's go and play. I never see you shoot the puck. You're out of luck. You should practice every day. You used to score like 20 doesn't need to be a hat trick.
I'm trying.
Tell me why.
Oh, some fine work from the married couple right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. It is the Nielson Show coming in from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio this morning. You can text us anytime in the Paris Jewelers inbox, and one of your text messages will win the text of the day. Gager sent me a funny text earlier, but to my phone. Not to the line with the Walkman, the talk boy in
real good
in Marshall's room. Gager, of course, 2 guys and a goalie today at noon, and then he will be on with Hernan Salas EST afternoons. If you've not yet checked out that show, every single day from 1 to 3, right here on TuneIn, iHeart, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, and over on YouTube. And Gager joins us on the show this morning. Joaquin Gage, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, gentlemen. Great show so far.
Oh, thanks, Gager.
Ask him what he's scared of.
We're having a lot of fun. Yeah, what's your fear, Gager? Are you like scared of something?
Dusty, for many years.
Gager, is your mic on? It sounds really quiet. Can you turn it up?
I stopped vulcanized rubber for years at high velocity speeds. Nothing frightens me.
I guess goalies are different.
Great answer.
Goalies are, but when you take 100-mile-per-hour slap shots of rubber at your face for over a decade, I guess you probably don't have any fears. Fair enough, Gager. All right.
Yeah.
I guess that's why you're not in the draft of scary things.
I tried to think of something that I'm really scared of, and like more of a phobia. And
like, what about heights?
Yeah, makes you
okay with
nervous or
heights?
something.
Oh, no, even that. I'm fine. Like, I can go to the top of a building and look over it, right? Like, it gives me a little
humble
butterfly,
brag.
But
what about deep water?
I've thrown the scuba stuff on, gone to 30 feet. So
this guy,
there's nothing you can't do.
You're one of the most phenomenal humans I've ever met in my entire life. No fears.
I'm like, well,
you should start a T-shirt line.
My favorite movie is Point Break, right? Like, so,
that's true.
I am a little extreme.
It's not a tragedy to die doing what you love.
Exactly.
Gage, let's start with Formula One, and then we'll get into the Oilers and the Hurricanes tonight. Just an excellent race that we saw this past weekend. Right from the start, I mean, that first corner kind of dictated where that thing was going to go. And then right down the stretch with Max and Lando, it was just, I mean, we've had some really good races this year, but that one had to be right up there.
Well, watching it, I was thinking we haven't had, because it's kind of Lando and Max, you would think, in the championship battle, like to see who's going, if Lando can actually catch Max, and to have that kind of battle through the last 15 laps. We haven't seen that since kind of Lewis and Max years ago when we kind of started watching. So it was really exciting. But now, even when you look at it, I mean, the Constructors' Championships are really close now that you had the Ferrari 1-2, and Leclerc hinting that he's not, he's still looking at a championship here. And if Ferrari keeps going like this, I haven't crunched the numbers, but he could be up there challenging Max a little bit more, depending on how Max does, obviously.
Gager, what do you think ends up being the difference down the stretch here? Because you mentioned the constructor standings, and it is tight. Ferrari's at 496, Red Bull's at 504, and McLaren is just 40 points ahead. So like they're all separated by about 52 points right now. Who would you wager on to be at the top of that group?
Well, my heart, as with my brand new hoodie that I wore yesterday, is kind of with
looking sharp.
McLaren. But it's interesting because Ferrari hasn't brought any upgrades yet, and it's the same exact car. And then I'm thinking that they're going to bring a few little tweaks over the next few races, and if they can unlock performance, because every team principal spoke over the weekend of how Ferrari was so good at tire management compared to everyone else, and that's partly on the driver, but they've just kind of figured it out, especially in Austin, where there was new parts of the track, some old parts, the heat, but they just seem to have it locked in. So, but the next race gives me the greatest amount of pause because of the elevation. And usually in Mexico, if memory serves me correctly, there's a few reliability issues with the car, with overheating just because of the altitude. Some cars don't finish. So I'll be interested to see who gets that right. It seemed like Mercedes had it dialed in last year or the year before. So it's kind of a toss-up. Whoever can get that right with the altitude and put the car in the right window with these top three is going to have supreme success. And I think it might even be Ferrari, Dusty.
Man, this is so much better than Max just running away with it last year. Like, it's just, this is how it's supposed to be, man.
Yeah. And, you know, what the most exciting thing is I think is all these young drivers, Colapinto, Liam Lawson, you know, finishing in the points and essentially his first race as a new driver with the VB card or whatever they call that Red Bull card. He's great. And you heard Yuki Tsunoda just losing his marbles because this young guy finishes ahead of him. And he was actually the most impressive thing about Liam Lawson, because he finished back in the pack because it took a new power unit that, you know, they had to use too many on Daniel Ricciardo. He was actually at a certain point, because he went long on the hards, was matching Yuki after his pit stop as he was on mediums. So, or on fresher tires, like by a few seconds. And that was the reason why he put in his in lap when Yuki came out. Yuki was supposed to come out ahead of him, but Liam was way ahead and then just pulled away. So I like the internal the internal competition between drivers. And it's really interesting with those two, because really, Dusty, that second seat at Red Bull, looking at another kind of poor performance for Sergio Perez, I think is still up for grabs.
It's sitting there waiting for the taking for sure. Joaquin Gage with us. Let's slide over to the Oilers and the Hurricanes. Obviously, we'll dive into this a little bit deeper, both on Two Guys and a Goalie today, and then on EST Afternoons with you and Hernan Salas. But what do you think of the idea to now split up McDavid and Draisaitl? Even though, as you two, Trev, pointed out earlier this morning, you know, it's not necessarily like they got going when they were together and now you're going to separate them again.
No, because in years past, it usually was, even last year, there were certain teams that putting them together seemed to match up a lot better. And really, there hasn't been a lot of success putting them together. I know they had some flash in the pan, good moments, but that consistency of being dominant offensively just hasn't been there. I don't think it's more of a, let's split them up because we're playing against the Hurricanes that have a balanced lineup. It's more, these guys aren't really going, so we have to find something here. Look, I liked the game for 38 minutes against Dallas. It was really good. It came down to just subtle details where they've probably looked at them multiple times on video. But this is another game where, just like in Dallas, where you're playing a very balanced team, a very responsible team, a patient team, which I thought Dallas was perfect at and took advantage of their chances. So Freddie Anderson, good goalie. I'm assuming it'll be Stuart Skinner again tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. He has to outplay Freddie Anderson. Bottom line.
Gager, it was a tough, Nashville's record doesn't reflect that, but we said, a couple of tough games on the road, both Thursday in Nashville, and then, of course, wrapping things up Saturday in Dallas. The talk's always now, as of late, been about the forward group. I just wanted to get your thoughts, too, canvassing the blue line just over those two road games. How have you seen this group kind of gel together, and your thoughts both on the win in Nashville and then the loss in Dallas from the defensive core?
I talked about this yesterday, Hernan and I think that they have to get to a point where there's a little bit more trust in your partner. Maybe that's a little bit more on the communication side, but it still seems to me that everyone's trying to do a little bit too much or cover for their partner. And you look at the second goal. I think there's a point where Bouchard's, I realized that I think it was Marchment that had a step on him, but if you're Ekholm, you have to trust your partner that, okay, he might get a shot. I just have to limit this guy, make sure there's no second chances. Ekholm just kind of figures out where the most dangerous person on the ice is. That's the guy without the puck in that case, and it was Duchesne. But you see him go over because he thinks he can help out with Bouchard. McDavid probably kind of think, well, he's probably got him here. There's just there's just a lack of trust, I think, with guys, or maybe trust isn't the right word, but they're just trying to do a little bit too much. Whereas on the other side of things, you looked at the Dallas Stars, even when, if one of the Oilers on one of their good chances kind of had a step on the defenseman or who they were going up against, they would get a good shot. They knew that they would get a good save, right? The save was there, and they cleared out rebounds. There was trust in the rest of their team to clean up the messes, right? So Oilers have to get to that point. They were last year, I think, but a little bit more trust on the defensive side, I think, is going to go a long ways with these guys. Just trying to do a little bit too much.
As always, Gager, we appreciate the time, buddy. We'll see you around the office later on today.
All right, buddy.
There you go. That's Joaquin Gage, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. Order and submission deadline for the private signing with 5-time Stanley Cup champion Randy Gregg is Saturday at 4 p.m. Located in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave, or online at proamsports.ca. Yesterday, we were talking about using Pro-Am as a fundraiser for your team with their no-risk auction and raffle items. I know who texted me with some interest on this because she doesn't want to sell beef jerky. Jess Jackson.
Okay.
100.3 the Bears. She
Love
goes,
it.
I really don't want to have to sell, meat all year to raise money for hockey. So she's going to reach out to Jack and try to get some risk-free raffles set up.
Young Sheldon coming to his own as a good player himself, so that's good to see. And a good idea as well in the T-shirt marketing from Joaquin Gage, the No Fear. Hell of an idea.
Yeah, that's a real good idea.
You could put slogans on the back, maybe like a...
Yeah, about things that could scare you, but might not scare you.
Yeah.
Go to church and pray you don't guard me. Hey, you better bring an umbrella because I'm raining jumpers today. Was that and one or was that No Fear?
These jacks don't know game or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know if that was and one or No Fear, but I used to have a bunch of those shirts.
Well, there's No Surrender as well, I think. That was another...
What a ripoff. What a ripoff. That's ridiculous. All right, let's get into the Orange and Blue Breakfast. Oilers and Canes tonight. The Orange and Blue Breakfast brought to you by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta area for over 50 years. 50 years they've been rooming. Now a great partner with us here on Edmonton Sports Talk, on our show, the Reed Wilkins Show, and of course the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows. Diesel... Understood. I tried to do Reed Wilkins.
Well, the dots are in there.
Reed Wilkins. Reed does it really good. He gets me every time.
Pregnant pause.
Oh, yeah. It's hilarious. All right. Projected lineups tonight. From practice yesterday, they were moving some different pieces around, but it looks like it'll be McDavid between Hyman and Nuge, Draisaitl with Arvidsson and Skinner, Henrique with Brown and Janmark, so that line back together. Derek Ryan, Tony had Derek Ryan taking some shifts up with Henrique yesterday, but it looks like Henrique, Brown, and Janmark. Then Derek Ryan with Corey Perry and Podkolzin, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, and Emerson on the back end. As for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight, the Hurricanes rolling in here with Sebastian Aho between Seth Jarvis and Svechnikov. Can be a dangerous line. Kotkaniemi with Jackson Blake and Marty Necas. Jordan Stahl with Martinuk and William Carrier. Jack Drury, Eric Robinson, and Jack Roslovic. And then on the back end, Slavin, Burns, The Ghost with Sean Walker, Orlov, and Jalen Chatfield.
Orlov.
Hurricanes.
Dmitry Orlov.
And Oilers tonight. Let's get to your injury report. List of guys who aren't tough enough to play hockey tonight, brought to you by Podium Physiotherapy. Knee pain from that nagging ACL injury? Hip or shoulder pain slowing you down? Back pain after a long day's work? They've got you covered, whether it's a sports injury, post-op recovery, or the wear and tear of everyday life. The expert team is here to get you back on track. Podium Physiotherapy, NHL caliber treatment for that everyday individual, right? Live like you're in the bigs. Book now at podiumphysiotherapy.com. That's podiumphysiotherapy.com. Lieutenant Eric, who is missing tonight?
Courtesy TSN.ca. You mentioned we had a Roby Yarventi drop earlier in the show. I think
on
you
the
had,
ice. On the ice.
Still listed on the IR, though, with a knee injury. Evander Kane, IR hip. Carl Berglund, IR undisclosed injury. And Brady Stonehouse, the silhouette remains with another undisclosed injury. And for the visiting Carolina Hurricanes, a pair of players, Riley Stillman on the IR with an LBI and a neck injury for Jesper Fast. He is also on the injured reserve.
All right, that is your injury report for Podium Physiotherapy. It is the GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast. Lieutenant Eric, your key to a victory tonight. What are you
We are
looking at?
9 days away from Halloween, and the
Oh,
Ghost
wow.
is in town.
The Ghost is here.
Keeping him silent will be key. 3 goals. He scored in 3 straight games, 2 of which I believe on the power play. The Hurricanes come in here with the 9th-ranked power play, 25% efficiency. Either stay out of the box or try to get that penalty kill clicking a little better against Carolina. But keeping the Ghost silent, I think, will be a key for me. Also, Aho and Svechnikov, point-per-game players against Edmonton as well, in 14 and 10 games, respectively. So keeping that trio at bay will go a long way.
Game day prediction today. I called this as my game day prediction yesterday, so I am going to stick to my guns. And I am going to say that Zach Hyman scores a goal tonight.
You're like the Utah Hockey Club.
Yep.
Right?
I am just like the Utah Hockey Club. We will build an EST parlay over on CoolBet on the Lock Shop today. So we'll put something up. It will involve, probably play it safe with the parlay and put a Hyman point in there. But my game day prediction today, and it's a busy day. It'll be a huge hockey show today on the Lock Shop, simply because every single team in the league is playing tonight. But a Zach Hyman goal right now.
Hydro says Nuge for 2 points.
Plus 147.
Just
Nuge
add
for
on.
2 points.
Just add
Interesting.
on there. Yeah, Hydro's. And an exclamation point. Feeling it.
Connor McDavid points are back on the board now. Like, for the longest time, you couldn't even get McDavid, and now it's minus 610, which you're never going to bet.
Yeah.
But Connor McDavid
back on the board is telling.
Back on the
Yeah,
board,
yeah,
it
that's-
says something about a point per game start for him. Over 1.5 is plus 105. That number is usually like a minus 130.
D-Rock's cooked up a sports talk parlay.
Okay.
Nuge 1 point, Bouchard assist, Hyman goal, McDavid 2 points, Oilers win.
Okay, say this again. There's a lot going on there.
Nuge 1 point.
Yep.
Bouchard assist.
Okay.
Hyman goal.
Yes.
McDavid 2 points.
Okay.
Oilers for the dub.
I like it. I'm not going to steal it,
yeah.
but it might be something similar coming down the pipe on the Lock Shop today. So my game day prediction will be a Zach Hyman goal. When he scores tonight, you must rush to my Twitter and refer to me as a genius. And if he doesn't score tonight, we just pretend it never got said at all.
The Bugs Bunny
that's
counting
that's how it works.
The cash. You like that? You like that one, don't you?
I do like that one.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny with his cash. That's a good one. I like Leo throwing out the bills. Kenny Powers.
Oh, yeah.
Dollar
Classic.
bills, y'all. Like, there's a bunch there. All right, let's dive into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as our place, and our place looks toit, you're going to get it done with Bruce and the Dream. I think Bruce is in on the Hangout on Thursday.
That's rumors. Word of the mouth around the office.
Rumors.
Says. Yeah.
Rumors. Bruce Simpson coming in on the Hangout on Thursday.
Hello. You seen those Huff on the in Dallas too on the ice there?
I don't want to spoil it, but
gets them all
it'll be
around.
announced on Thursday on the Hangout that Bruce Simpson's the new president of the Edmonton Elks.
Don't want to spoil it.
Wouldn't that be something?
Keep it tight under the lid.
I don't think it's the case. But we might pretend it is that day anyway.
We can dream.
We can do whatever we want. Nobody's going to say anything. All right, WilliamHuff.com. They've been doing this since 1952, so they're better at it than you. It's just, if somebody's better at it than you and you need help with something, just ask. Just let them do it for you, and they'll do it for you.
Yeah.
All right, what did we learn on the show today?
I learned that Trev marked himself safe from. I mean, that's the big one.
Trev was the star
You know,
of
on
the show
Facebook, you get
today.
that little flag marked safe from the Mayan apocalypse, the Aztec calendar.
Did you actually say that you marked yourself safe on Facebook?
Well, but you can, right?
I know you can.
But he should. That's
Yeah.
what we should today is mark Trev safe.
I learned today that Trev thought his final day on the planet
End of
was
days.
December 21st, 2012.
That whole year just sucked.
Yeah.
You were looking,
The whole year?
Yes, because
He knew it
I
was
knew
coming.
it was my last year. That's what I thought.
God,
Well,
I love you, man.
I didn't know, but man, I was like, what's going to happen? Like, am I going to drown? Is there going to be a tornado? Is it going to be a fire?
Your last August?
Like all year.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like I remember just talks with my buds. Like, man, like what if this is our last year? What if this is the last time we hang out? So
Oh, man.
it was just it was such a very sad, depressing year. I hated it. I hated 2012, 2013 was the best.
You lived, baby.
Oh, I
You
did.
lived.
And now I live. I live every day.
Good for you.
Juice is
the
running
best.
down
Good for
your
you.
face.
And you've survived every storm
I've ever been
that's
in.
ever happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty good
Also
too,
true.
Trev. That was what we learned today. We also learned today that Marshall missing school today. A little bit of a headache.
Get well soon.
Yeah, get well
I want
soon,
you to
buddy.
get well.
Get soon, Buckaroo.
Yeah.
Daddy loves you.
Enjoy the game tonight.
The Brawny game.
The game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it. Text of the day today. We got to bring up that RCN text. which just spurned on what's going to be the sound of the day today as well.
We're doing this a cappella, are we?
Well, you know the RCN.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Let's bring up. Here we are. Yeah. This is Dustin Nielson, the father, marshal to his school. Give it to us, Rick. This is your sound of the day. Lieutenant Eric doing his Home Alone 2 talk boy voice.
This is Dustin Nielson, the father.
Yes, Mr. Nielsen, what can we do for you today?
I'd like to request my son Marshall be excused from school.
That'll require an absence slip.
Absence slip? You got it.
The full meal deal.
Oh, too good, man. RCN, you win the text of the day today. AAW gift certificate is yours because you spurned on. I love Trev. Every time you're doing that, I'm watching Trev's face, and Trev's just in amazement, like you're the year 2013.
I can't get over how you do that. Like, so good. Honestly, people are probably, you're fooling people. I guarantee it. You're fooling me almost. Like, I'm not convinced.
You're sitting here.
Yeah, it's actually incredible how you can.
My brother's
make
the man
that
of
voice.
1,000 voices. You know his imitations. He can do
quite
a few people.
Yeah.
This is just I got a little bit of that in me.
That's so good.
We also tried our hand at the Donald Duck or Daffy Duck. Yeah, Donald.
Halfway there.
You just got to learn the talking part.
I'm Donald Duck with a lisp.
Yeah.
That's
And a hair
trouble.
And choking.
Yeah. You just I can't do the words.
You keep practicing.
Hey, that sounded like him.
He's got that lip going out.
How do you talk though? It's incredible. It must be AI. Ooh, I hear Trevor with a little Donald Duck over there. Congratulations, RCN. You win the gift certificate. Mama Burgers right now, 2 for $9.99. And it's a game day. It's a game day. Mama Burger and fries, $5 because it's game day.
Breakfast, lunch, and supper.
Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, and Devon. All right, so what are we watching tonight?
Well, I mean, it's tip-off of the NBA season. A little Celtics-Knicks for your appetizer, and then the main event. Let the man dribble. Let the man and his boy have a dribble. I think that's the only way you start the season.
Bronny deserves this.
A dribble.
He's grinded hard for 20 years. Lived through every storm that he ever faced.
Absolutely.
And now has a chance tonight to play with his papa. Let it happen. I'll have a great sports night tonight.
Yeah.
Great sports night tonight. Very much looking forward to everything coming down the pipe tonight. We will have the GCL Diesel pregame show for you right after the Reed Wilkins show today. So, we are literally live here up until 7 o'clock tonight, and then the postgame show to follow after the Edmonton Oilers take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Tomorrow's show is going to be very interesting. If they lose to the Canes, they're 2-5 to start the year. That's not very good. Hi, I'm the Oilers. I can't do it. You're too good at it.
I like yours.
It's so good. It's so good. All right, this is a fun show outside of Nathan, who called.
Well, but you know what? The show, then, you were fired up to start the show.
I was fired up.
And rightfully so. But
Trev loosened me up. Trev with the hilarious stories today about his major fear that we found funny for a time. Congratulations, Trev. You got the show back on track too. And we got a draft, and the draft's coming together
very nice.
Real nice.
Let me know when that's locked in, though, because I'm
going to take a photo of this. We'll spin the wheel for draft order.
Mm-hmm.
Not this wheel. It's sketchy right now.
Oh, wouldn't that
we'll
be
have to spin the online wheel for draft order selection, I guess. We'll do that maybe, what's today? Tuesday? Maybe we'll do that tomorrow so people can start prepping for the draft of scary things.
Ooh.
For YouTube Trev and Lieutenant Eric, I'm Dustin Nielsen. The Hangout is coming up next. It'll feature Lieutenant Eric. You're going to want to stick around for that. I'll be back with the Lock Shop at 11. Talk to you then. Take it easy.